Um, Captain Penn, would you like to give a log for today's episode?
Sure, why not? Yes, what's the worst that can happen with a log? Sorry, let me just get the star date.
Not allowed.
Yeah,
Our dates have been banned.
I'm literally just waiting for the pinned messages to show up so I can read the star date.
I just put it in the thing.
Yeah, it's in chat.
Ah, perfect. Captain's log, stardate 55382. The Peltus and the Plank have caught up with the Kismet en route to the Ericania for repairs. Hopefully, we should be able to go and leave the station soon, as apparently we have a diplomatic meeting with the Quaqua, a assault on a Klingon/Gorn pirate base possible. We've got issues with the local governors, thinking that there may be more pockets of secession, or maybe a new marquee in the area. We have a possible reactor overload on the station, which is not fantastic news. And we also need to decide how to deal with the Chigoans after their latest little soiree into Federation space and firing upon a Federation vessel. Hopefully we can get some, if not all of this done soon, but we'll see. End log.
We cut to the conference room of the Kismet as you're able to meet together. Fleet Captain Grennan is already preparing for his meeting with Star Captain Koshi, but Lieutenant Commander Wright has come aboard to join the briefing to decide the senior staff briefing for the squadron to figure out what exactly you all are planning to do, given the multitude of things you have on your plate.
Well, I believe we're best off trying to leave the fleet captain for the meeting with the Quaqua, the star captain, and her higher ups. I think the more pressing thing at the moment is the station and looking for possible traitors within the Tiger Squadron.
I'm not sure what the governors are worried about. We already did a security check, what was it, a few months ago? Well, I guess we didn't publicize that.
That was more recent than that, even.
True, but it's also a case of if we publicly do it, then they can rest assured that we are actively doing things when they have a concern.
Does that mean I wear the black collar or not, just to be even more public about it?
You can wear whatever you like, as long as it's within regulation.
Additionally, and this kind of looks over to
When the joke doesn't
to
have a
Wright.
bend.
I believe I might be able to assist in the reactor issues the station's experiencing.
Well, actually, it would seem that the reactor situation stabilized by the time you pulled into dock. The engineers aboard were able to work with some of the civilian staff to get things under control. Bit of a heart attack when you guys were rolling in, but we managed somehow. Sorry to alarm everyone with that particular bit of news.
No,
For us to know than not.
yes,
Yeah.
better safe than sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's resolved, you can write how it was resolved and send that to anyone else that's having problems.
Yeah, apparently has something. According to the engineers we had, it's had something to do with some of the old holdover parts from the Orion frame, and one part overloaded into the other, and then they feedback looped into each other, causing a very unique problem. The Tellarite in question that was at the scene was verbose and wide in his expression of dismay at why we let such a thing go on.
Oh, that sounds like a Tellarite.
Everyone looks at me.
You're looking at me as if I was raised on Teller Prime.
Yeah.
I was raised primarily on Andoria.
It didn't change much about you, to be honest. You'll fight more, I guess.
Were there any injuries?
Some minor burns across the some of the staff that were already down there.
I wasn't sure if you were asking about Teller Prime and Band or not for a second.
Actually, looking over the latest reports, it looks like we had some injuries in the engineering department and some of the civilian assistants that were on the scene as well. They're all currently in DSC medical care at the moment. But that will likely slow down any efforts we have to repair the ships of the squadron, since most of the people injured were our Starship operation and engineering staffs, both civilian and Starfleet.
Well, anybody that isn't on leave from the various ships can help out my medical teams, I'm sure.
It's always good practice for you, Doctor.
Well,
Just what you need more of.
I'm very studied up right now, so should be able to help.
Then at least we know where you're going to be, Doctor. And as you said, if you do require any assistance from any of the 3 ships, don't hesitate to just call them in.
We are trying to give people leave if they ask for it, but I'm sure there are some people that would prefer to stay on.
Yeah, I happen to know a couple of people, looking squarely at Vata, that prefer to be working than doing anything else.
Although I must suggest, though, that even for those who find comfort in work, sometimes you need to do work that isn't mission critical. That way one can prevent burnout. Even the most hardy of species needs time to decompress.
Well, if
Agreed.
that's the case, maybe Lieutenant Commanders Vox and Vata, would you like to go over the crew logs and decide what type of recreation for those type of crew members would be, or what type of work would be suitable for those type of crew members that like to work through rest? Maybe a little, yeah, maybe a little paperwork for yourself would be a nice change of pace.
I think for most people who find comfort in work, paperwork is not the answer,
No, it's never the answer for anyone.
with the exception of maybe Myth.
I'll be reason, command, or con, difficulty 2, to determine the best way to give everyone the, not just leave time, but also making sure they get the kind of leave time that would be helpful to them. Because, yeah, some people do literally just want to go to a beach and go surfing. Some want to paint. Some want to do engineering work, but be put on light duties. That's them. That's their relaxing time.
Do we want to set that up as both of the NPC characters doing that role?
I mean, you said they were doing it, so might as well. I can roll Vata. If I can find Vata. There we go. I think.
I think Vox will probably take point due to the type of role.
Vata has a 14.
Vox is a 15.
Yep, go for it.
Would you accept Starfleet protocol?
Yeah, I would.
Unless Vata can assist with communication systems, I don't think she's going to focus.
No.
And unfortunately,
Actually, no. I will take it on the basis that she is making sure that the message that everyone's getting the information as quickly as possible. So in some cases, it's literally calling them, or it's like, no, it's faster to call this guy and have him walk a pad to this person. Just saves time.
yeah, we don't have momentum, so I'm not going to buy an extra dice.
One second, I had to address something.
Well, it seems our long-standing NPCs are competent.
Wait, what?
It's as if we put the time into them to be competent.
Yep.
I realized I hadn't actually selected a focus. I just put down command thing in brackets. Thanks, me.
You're like, that's a future me problem.
Yeah, comes the future me. Well,
Oh no, it's future me.
All right.
Did you get lots of snow?
we did, yeah. We've got like icicles hanging off the house now.
There we
Mhm.
go.
Like 6
Good golly.
inches over the last
It's
couple
like
of days.
43 degrees out here. It's gross.
So, you between Vux and Vada, they're able to collaborate with each other a bit and figure out the best way to make sure all the people who have leave do get it, and also make sure you're not accidentally assigning leave to people who aren't due for it. It's like, no, they just got off leave. Don't put them back on. You had your vacation. Get back to work.
Yeah.
So not accidentally shorthanding yourself, but also making sure people who really need leave get priority to get it, and then assigning it such that everyone who gets the kind of leave that they're shooting for, as best as you can accommodate, because you are in the frontier. There's limitations. It's like, I want to go all the way to Earth. Okay, you're gonna have to set up quite a bit of leave time for that, because you need to,
Yeah.
because transit time's a thing there and back. And we're not exactly pulling the expedition or the Kismet off just to ferry you home.
But why? Well, if that's sorted out, I believe Mr. Vada and Lieutenant Commander Wright, you two may best be suited for the investigating our little issue for the governors. One, because I believe you both qualified for the position, but two, if it's known that the head of the station and our intelligence officer are both on the job, it should put some more minds at ease.
Also, Commander Wright, I believe you are far better at phrasing things that put people at ease than I am. I tend to make people jumpy, apparently.
Oh, we each have our specialty. We'll have to come at this in different ways, though, if we want to catch anything in between the cracks. So what this is an extended task where each 2 intervals is going to basically be per scene, because it's going to take, because you're looking through the entirety of your personnel across all of your ships. That's a lot, and giving a security brief for all of them to the satisfaction that, in a way that is also understandable, but also not giving away classified information to the civilian populace, because this is stuff you're going to be publishing. And given that you guys are a mighty fleet, might score of 11 out of a max of 12. Really, I thought it was higher than that for some reason.
No, just 11.
But still, might 11. That's pretty big. That's a lot of people that you have to manage.
Yeah.
So also you can use either reason, insight, or presence plus security for the role per time, but you can't back to back. So you can't go reason, security one interval and then reason, security on the next set. You have to do something else, because you kind of have to let that percolate, that particular thing percolate a bit, so you can go back to it for more, to try to plummet for more evidence.
Okay, I see.
Question, GM. Because I'm trying to get Right to assist. Would it be possible for Right to use those 3 plus medicine, due to the fact using her skills as a counselor? Able to read people.
She would point out that if she tried to use it, if she came at it from a counseling thing, she'd be required by her oath to Starfleet Medical not to reveal the information she got, unless it was an imminent danger situation.
However, you could state whether they are sound mind still.
But that'd be a medical inquest for stability and suitability of duty rather than a security clearance. Which that's a thing she kind of does anyway for the squad
clearance for security clearance.
Yeah. The security thing is something you're going to publish. Medical stuff she'd never publish is the thing, and she has to be able to talk to people and say, hey, whatever you say to me is going to be private. Whereas security, it's like, well, no, it's going to be private, but we are telling command, we are telling security about this if you are found to be wanting in some regard, or you lied on your application or something like that.
Okay.
Let me put it this way. You could use medicine. You could order her to do it, but you'd have to convince her with a presence roll, and it would be something unethical for her to do. You'd be asking her to break her oath to Starfleet Medical.
Yeah, no, I'm not about doing that. However, this is an inquest on various. This is an inquest on various people within Tiger Squadron, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that would be potentially made easier with assistance from, or people within the squadron cooperating easily. I could use some favors from people I have in the squadron to make things simpler, perhaps.
Yeah, if you spend a reputation, you could, for at least one roll, temporarily bring down the difficulty of a task, of that task roll.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you bunch them up, you can make that one roll fairly easy, because you're getting you're pulling your favors to get intel that takes you time to do.
Yeah, it's like we could pull I've got favor from Thralic. She's my second in security, so what she knows is a lot.
So one favor from Thralic. Any other favors you want to spend?
Cecile in science. I have 2 from her, so I'll use one of those.
I have one with her Hussar, if you want to use that.
I also have one with Hussar. I have got like 20 favors pinned. Don't worry about it.
Hussar. Okay. Hussar.
Yep.
Anyone else?
Nope. We'll just go with the 3 to start with.
Question: are you going to be using your Starfleet intelligence role for this, or are you going to use your chief of security role? Difference is, one is an advantage that can bring it down. One is you getting security teams to ask questions for you.
What does this better fall under, or is it both? It's Starfleet intelligence, security, blah blah blah.
Yeah, it kind of falls into both. It's the difference between the was gonna say the FBI and the CIA, but you know what I mean. Like there's the police way to do the problem, and there's the intelligence way to do the problem. They both kind of they can make it easier in different ways. Just it changes your approach. It depends how you're getting. You're basically saying which direction you're getting that information from.
Another question
People
might
trust-
be like which way reflects better,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
or like which way does the squad generally like accept more and not be like, we're being investigated, blah blah. Blah.
Yeah, it's rather than intelligence, or go from a security, because intelligence implies, oh, you done fucked up. Where security's just like, this is a standard thing we hear. So we'll go from a chief of security perspective. Nice to get back to that.
So difficulty currently is diff not 5 minus 4, so diff 1 currently.
I'll take that. Get a good start on it like that. And I'm rolling this now at the moment, or this is a setup for when I'm rolling later.
You could roll it for this scene because you could be starting the pre investigation now.
That's why it's easy. I'm just telling other people to start doing it now.
Yeah, get to work on it now. I'll get to the office in a bit.
Yeah. Chain of command is the focus.
Yep.
And a singular threat.
Yep.
And we'll go with a presence fits for having other people do it.
Okay. So that's what Wright will assist with.
We'll get some momentum on the table as we get this ball rolling. Oh, I need to roll 7? Question mark?
Yep, that's right. Four, 5, 6.
Well, considering there's no resistance, that's a fair whack.
Yeah. So the base difficulty drops to 4 as you get 1 breakthrough, and you create 6 work done. The initial thing that you get just from the preliminary, like asking around among your favors, which is largely what you seem to be doing, and talking to your security guys, like, okay, like this first stage is less the asking question things and like interrogating. It's more the, hey, everybody, quick security check. Is everything okay? Is there anything I need to know about? Have you heard anything going on? And thankfully, in that first magnitude, you hear a lot of, no, I mean, some people are looking forward to taking time off. Some people worry about those pirates. Nothing that implies there's a security risk, just the general stresses that no one's discontent, morale's pretty high. And in the science department, science is pretty happy. Like she's still heard nothing but good things because, well, they got to check out that cool precursor tech, and that was a big mission for them. They got the Plank people are a little agitated that a lot of them missed out because their ship got damaged, but a lot of the science department got to go with the captain. So if you really wanted to go, you should have signed up.
Pass the science news on to Myth because she's right beside me and is relevant. Oh, brilliant. Okay. I'll have to keep working on this, Captain, but we've got a start, and it's looking good so far.
Well,
Other than your standard stress changes. Or stress behavior, rather.
And I can speaking for the station staff, I was just looking over people I knew. Seems both civilian and some of the civilian workers and the Starfleet enlisted are fairly happy on station. We haven't been attacked in a long time somewhere else, fairly high, and the people we have are the same people we had in the last security check. So a lot of it's just double checking Lieutenant Commander Harder's work. She shrugs. So it's fairly easy on my end.
I just about I'd almost finished the paperwork from the last one.
Well, it doesn't harm to show people that we're taking it seriously.
She nods. Agreed.
Yay, promotion.
Lieutenant Commander, do you want to do interviews on one of the ships, or do you just want to do them on DSE, sir?
On the station should be fine. It's
Yeah.
the central hub of the squadron.
Yeah. I'll set
What's
up
the
one of the
priorities?
rooms.
Appreciate it. Also, I think the station's got more appealing.
Well, we have to use up one of the. Well, actually, let me look. We might have enough room for.
We have dedicated diplomatic suites. I don't imagine we'll be running out.
Actually, you get to roll the station's computers command or structure command because this would help.
Hey, just generally, yeah. No, you're not being grilled in a brig. We're just casual questionnaire time.
I think we're probably best off with structure command.
Oh, are we rolling this now or next time?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So another momentum generated. But next time as well, because
Okay.
it's one of those things where it's like, because it's also putting out the word of, hey, you're gonna be come to conference room beta for drinks for a security checkup. Free drinks, tell us your food allergies. Like it's almost like it's less a grilling thing. It's like, oh no, just a casual Starfleet security thing. It's like, don't worry, no one's in trouble. We just want to talk. Just
We
checking
don't
in.
think there's a problem, but
Yeah.
we're doing the thing.
Yep.
And
And you're
being
getting
this
a lot of
casual about it probably appeals to the civilians a lot.
And a lot of the Starfleet people are super cooperative. Like a lot of the crew, no one's giving you no, I want to have my JAG officer present, which it's their right if they really, really want one. But it's like, well, them are just like, no, I'm good. Like, yeah, sure. Or what's this about was mostly what the question was. And it's like, oh, it's just a security check. Oh, okay. I'll be there.
Alright.
So that's as much as you can get done for now. You'll have to wait till some of the people move around to do more.
We'll have time for a cup of coffee and that's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you're lucky, Lieutenant Commander.
Listen, if I'm drinking while asking questions, I can no. If I'm drinking, get this correct. If they're drinking while I'm asking questions, I'm drinking while they're answering questions.
It sounds like you've already been drinking.
No, not quite. I wish.
So, yes, Dr. Esprit, I believe you'll be heading down to the medical bay, correct?
Sounds like it.
And Lieutenant... Oh, Lieutenant, Jesus Christ.
I don't believe he's come back yet from his off duty.
I'm not actually laughing because Varner wouldn't get that reference, but hey.
Don't you love those moments when your brain just goes, no?
Like, Varner can't laugh. I can.
Commander Myth.
Yes.
I believe your help could be beneficial on the Kismet with the repairs, unless you have any other ideas where you may be better suited.
And assist with the repair work, Captain.
Very well. At least we should have the engineering teams for most of the ships available if you do require any assistance.
I'll make sure to make use of the available resources.
Lieutenant Commander Wright, I believe we still have our Romulan guest under custody.
Yes, we have him in one of the special Orion holding cells. Unless he has a plasma torch, he isn't getting out of there without us noticing. And even if he does, that's apparently it has a special security measure that alerts the security staff in a special way. She holds up her hands. It's within regulations, but it's, let's just say it's color coded for our convenience.
As a precaution, due to his history, let me check if Petty Officer Second Class Terror is available.
Say again, sir?
One of my security staff. I'm just checking if she is available. And if she is, I would have her stationed in the vicinity at least. This Romulan is either Tal Shiar affiliated or 31 affiliated. And we know they've got a lot of tricks up their sleeve.
Petty Officer Kino?
Yes.
Okay. I can. I'll put in the order now, sir, to have her down there.
Well, as long as he's under watch and we can leave him for another time until we get some more of these issues dealt with.
A bit of comfort to save us some of the effort. Apparently, the Quaqua officers are used to spies attempting to evade capture through self-harm, and they were able to remove a capsule from his teeth rather forcibly. He's fine. They apparently have decent medical facilities, but they, according to the logs that were given over to me, they were thorough in checking him for weapons and explosives and other gadgetry.
I'm not surprised the Quaqua would be, especially when handing it over. They want to put their best foot forwards. Especially if this invitation from the Steel Prince is any indication.
Well, when the fleet captain talks with the star captain, we'll make sure to remind him to thank her for taking the necessary precautions.
Do you intend to go to the dinner, Captain?
If it's required, but I'm not the biggest diplomat here.
Which would you prefer, you or me, Captain?
I'll get back to you on that answer.
Okay.
But I believe the...
I was intending to go to the dinner with the captain, but since I'll be helping Lieutenant Commander with the security loadout, I might suggest we put one of our some of the command staffers, either Ilso or Bonsab, perhaps even Mixia, to attend to the captain in case he needs assistance. There's going to be a lot of dignitaries there, both within the Federation and in the Star Captain herself. I'm wanted to pull out all the stops since we're going into the more formal side of diplomacy.
Well,
I had to read a rather thick document regarding the appropriate protocols for dealing with foreign civilizations.
And there's also the option of, at the time the dinner happens, assuming that I'm not completely flooded, I could probably let you go for a while.
Well, it'd probably be a good idea if we're all generally free at that time for all the command staff to probably turn up.
If I can knock this out at the time, I will. Otherwise, I'll be sitting at the table holding a pad in the middle of dinner, doing security checks.
She pulls out her pad and starts looking at something. See.
The Quaqua
Yes,
might
I can actually put people in different seating arrangements as needed. I only set us because I thought we were going to be fairly divided once the meeting happened. I set aside 3 major seats to sit along with the captain plus 2 aides, and then there's various other seating across the dinner among the other dignitaries. So we'll want to figure that if people are going to attend, please let me know, because I need to figure out where people need to sit and to help not offend the or at least give you a heads up on who you're going to be talking to at your table.
I'm glad you're handling seating arrangements, not me.
I've had to do this before, Lieutenant Commander. I usually had a diplomatic department to help me with it, but we don't have one here. So, because not well, we have diplomatic staff, but we don't have an ambassador of the Federation here.
We have one who's on the way like a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still 2 weeks out because he's not on the fastest ship. So
If you want, you can borrow Bonsab. He knows his stuff.
I've been corresponding with him trying to get some details, but it's the actual on the ground setting everything up is largely done. It's just a matter of making sure that when people sit down, the appropriate people have their what is it called? She looks at her pad. It's not intelligence files, they're diplomatic memoirs. She rolls her eyes. Intelligence files on the people you're talking to at the table. Same difference. It just one sounds nicer than the other.
Well, yes, if anyone is finished before time, then make sure to inform the Lieutenant Commander. Then we can add them to the list. But if not, we'll just make do with with Bonsab and Ilsol assisting.
Aye, sir.
I believe the only thing left on our agenda really is our tactical briefing on the possible assault on the pirate base. So I'll try and round up some members of House Telpark, the mercenaries we have here. Try to come up with some form of a plan so not everyone is required to go to it.
And I have something to help you maybe narrow down the pirate base's location or the numbers. One of the Protectorate security fellows that we picked up and treated. Just penned the info in that favor.
Well, this will come in handy. But yes, I'll deal with that. We've all got our little assignments to do before the Star Captain arrives and the Fleet Captain's ready to be hospitable. Hopefully everyone can get everything done in time. So if everything, all the official business down, is anything any of you would like to bring up?
I heard from the fleet report, sir, that the Chigo concern violated the treaty. Are we planning to make a retaliatory strike on them, or have we gotten orders to that?
We'll probably receive orders, but it may be best to hold off on the strike, and if we can fully make allies with the Quaqua, and with our standing with the Woohoo, it may give us more leverage in using our friendships in the region to force a better situation for us, rather than shoot them.
I might suggest it would be beneficial to show the flag a little bit along our mutual border in the meantime.
Oh, we need to get our ships repaired first. And speaking of ships, don't we have one of theirs?
Yes,
That
with
modified Romulan bird?
with the Romulan cloak.
Romulan cloak, Chigo technology, computer banks. If we get a chance, we should see what we can get from inside those.
Well, maybe best if we postpone that for now. Then we can put more people on, or at least have some people working in the background to try and start accessing their databanks. Let's try and get our job's done now, then we can focus on possibly showing our flag and dealing with the Chigoans.
I
We
can
have
begin
used-
work on the computer systems during Gamma Shift if I'm not supervising repairs during that period.
You may,
Right, yes, no sleeping.
and if you need any assistance from people who are awake at that time, reach out.
Yes, sir.
As of the showing the flag along our border, the only two ships that could really do it at the moment would be the Peltus and the Plank. And if a strike on the pirate base is coming up, I believe the Peltus will be required to head the opposite direction.
As a thought, showing the flag and showing teeth at the same time, if hitting that pirate base, it's between all of our space, and shows that if anything is messing with the Federation, we are more than capable of going outside of our borders to deal with it.
True, well, for now we'll finish the tactical briefing and decide where to go from there. If it's advantageous for us to bare our teeth, then that's the more likely course of action. But for now, let's solidly come up with a plan. Apart from the Chigoans, is there anything else?
All from me, sir.
believe so.
Right nods. That's everything from me, sir. Vox and Vada seem to have their heads down in their pads, still typing away as they're still. You see them click dragging, and this person send a message to each other. This person, not that person. You know,
Well, if
they're paying
that's-
attention, but they're very distracted with trying to get this leave thing figured out.
We're just receiving messages, and it's like, oh, this is science just showing it to myth.
Yeah.
Well, if that's everything, then everyone is dismissed to fulfill our jobs for today. And Commander, if you physically bare your teeth at people, make sure you furrow the eyebrow. Makes it look more menacing.
Thank you. I will keep that in mind, Captain.
Yes, everyone is dismissed. Let's get to it. Jesus, they've dropped a lot of ships off in the area.
Those are fighters deployed from the Larira, yeah.
Yep.
Are our Chigo mercenaries flying around as well?
They've docked up with DSE for the time being, since there's so many fighters out there. Like, let's not float around them if we don't, unless the command tells us to. And Wright's basically said, they got it. And we'll keep an eye out, but they're our allies, so might as well give you guys some time off too.
If it was
Because these pilots been busy anyway, so.
Yeah. If it was a
So
Federation
there's-
squad, we could have them out there and just doing collaboration drills.
So they
But they're
basically
not.
have the protection detail on the Larira. Some on the nearby planets, they have a couple of fighters just doing orbital patrols, and then there's one flying out in the outer edge of the system, just making sure no one's hiding out there.
Yeah.
Largely, and actually, Wright will point out that seems to be the normal defense net for the Lagneb class. They like having this set up if they're not. This is them relaxed.
Hey,
Yeah,
nothing.
casual.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
So I'm scrolled all the way in the wrong direction.
See that?
Whoops. Boop. 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 and Wright is helping with things, so I should know where she is.
So I'm guessing that's new scene.
Yep, new scene. So Varder and Wright go to the station, is my understanding. Myth goes to the station to head up the repairs.
I believe Myth was on the Kismet. Fix the Kismet repairs.
Okay, yeah, you're focused on the Kismet, so you can stay on the Kismet to do stuff there. Efrix, did you want to do your medical stuff on the station or on the Kismet?
Said most of the people had already been transferred to DSE, right? So I'll head down there.
Okay, so okay there. And the captain is getting all dressed up and briefed for the big dinner. Because he has to
Does he have,
basically
like,
know everybody in the
birthdays?
room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we decide that all of command staff needed to be there?
Only if they've got, only if they're finished.
Yep, if they've got the time.
I mean, I feel like mine is I don't have to be. I'm just offering aid. As long as I'm not actively in surgery. So I'll write a message to let her know that I will most likely be there.
I'll probably also be there, but I don't have to be.
Yeah, I just didn't want to say everyone has to turn up if you're doing shit.
Mm-hmm. Efrix and Miss on the no sleep squad just showing up to everything.
Yep.
That's where Penn says tactical briefing, but he's just taking a nap.
Nice.
I can see it.
Yeah.
So let's tackle your thing first, Doctor. So tending the wounded of DSE.
Okay.
The control medicine, you could use presence medicine, but I imagine you could presence or control, your call, how you're handling it. If you're basically just directing everyone else, or you're actively managing all the cases yourself and getting people to assist you with the work. None of it's deadly, but it's stuff that needs to be dealt with. Like these are persistent injuries that basically are putting people off work, and they can't go back. They can't even take leave time because, well, they're medically unfit to be moving around.
See, if I'm promising myself to this dinner, it better be like presence medicine so that I'm not like actively scrubbed up and can't leave.
You don't want to be
It's not her preferred method.
You are not on the KISS. You can use. Actually, I'll let you use your medical team benefit here because it's part of, since Kismet's docked up with DSE.
And I am the squadron doctor.
Yeah. So.
Is it possible for the doctor to call in any assistance if she needs it?
You can. Just keep in mind that it's pulling from someone's crew support.
Xenobiology.
Yep, you could use that.
We have 3 ships in the station full of NPCs.
Benefit of the squadron all gathered up like this.
What benefit am I reaping from medical team? Is it?
You could reduce the difficulty by 1, basically, because I haven't increased the resistance. Yep. Oops, I should really write that down in Discord so I don't lose track of it. Because that's what ends up happening.
Yeah, because this would be the perfect type of situation to use a uncommonly used crew support to try and get them some easy activation.
From medical, the only one we don't really use is Stolen.
There's also
This is her kind of.
Ensign Diego.
Oh yeah, she has
Con, but
she
is
has
also
medical. Yeah, she could come help.
Diego. Oh, there she is.
Well, the con also helps if she has to do like medical paperwork, because con is
Yeah.
good for that.
I'm sure there's all kinds of paperwork with this. Do.
Actually, Yogo also can actually assist with Khan if you want her to, because she's not the primary ruler.
Yeah, that's fine.
So did you want her and the counselor?
No, I don't think this is Zolan's kind of medicine.
Hmm.
Although I probably will at some point put out that, we'll need to go see counseling services because the ship blew up and that's a thing.
Yeah.
I'm not deflecting. It's fine. Doctor is perfectly healthy. Did I ask xenobiology already?
Yes, you did. Now it's no,
Uh,
because you asked again.
And then blah, 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 blah. Yeah, this. Sure, why not? Make it super easy. I'd also like to proc the surgeon's medal to bring down the difficulty even more. Some good stuff, maybe. And then spend a momentum. I'm having problems with words today, guys. I'm sorry. For cautious.
Okay.
And you want to speak for a living?
Listen, I had an interview and I had a project canceled and 3 rejection letters today. It's been a lot.
That's
Plus, she's
all.
not being paid to talk right now. When you're being paid to talk, now you care how you talk.
Yeah,
The
that's
first one,
so
sorry.
true. I mean, from the perspective of someone who does
I don't know
writing,
why it took it twice, but it did. I'm sorry.
GM, would you allow medical journals as a focus
Say again.
for Yego?
Medical journals.
Medical journals as a focus?
Yes.
Huh. Sure.
see, this is what happens when we bring out our less used support characters. Like, what are these focuses that were put on 3 years ago before we started standardizing our focuses a whole bunch?
Yeah, but it makes them more interesting.
I agree.
Very good. Doctor, please give me 7 challenge dice.
Ooh.
Or else. I don't know.
Or else you will be false.
Strangely ominous.
To you, though. Like,
Oh man, maybe it's a good thing I made a bunch of
Would you like a reroll? Because we got 2 spare.
yeah, I'd like to. Let's see. Rerolling 4.
And I did read a thing recently that was you
Well-
can buy to re-roll as much as you like as long as you have momentum, or is it a homebrew rule that we can only do the one, or a DM ruling rather?
Hmm.
In that Red Alert book, or is that for weapons? It's like you can re-roll as many
That's for
times as
weapons,
you
not
like.
extended tasks.
Okay,
Still not.
we've also done the
great.
one time on weapons. That's decent. 7.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 were generated out of the 12 you needed. Difficulty goes down by 1. Base difficulty goes down by 1. Sorry. And you have 1 magnitude down. So in that 1 magnitude, you are able to discover that that a lot of the people that were hurt nothing too critical. A lot of arm burns and leg burns, the sort of thing that
Mhm.
happens to engineers when they're working in a engine critical situation, because steam billows out, plasma fires come out, and your gear only protects you so much.
Mhm.
But thankfully, it's nothing face, nothing center mass. some
Sure.
species suffered a little more than others because they're species that don't deal with heat very well. Others were barely hurt. Like a lot of Vulcans weren't hurt because it's like they can deal with heat generally, and they're
Mhm.
generally fairly resistant. So, and the one or two Klingons that were laborers who were part of the civilian staff, you check them over and you basically can tell they're like, I'm fine. No, really, I'm fine. Scan, see. And it's like, oh, didn't you get burned? Yes. And then someone says, yeah, Klingon biology. They heal very easily. They
Yeah.
are fine. They can go home. They're just taking up the bed space right now. So you're able to shoo some of them away. Not that you were trying to get rid of them, but more that they
Yeah.
didn't need to be there.
They were probably mad about having to be there.
Well, protocol says you have to show up. Oh, for the love of fine.
Yeah, and grumpy Klingons in an enclosed space is not a good time for anybody, except maybe the Klingons.
So that's
Well, no, they're grumpy.
That's Efric's grinding through the medical work. Who's next?
Before we move on, we do have one more float, so do we just want to spend that into another work?
Sure.
Yeah.
So put it up to 8 work.
Rather
I
than
mean,
it go
that's
to
use it or
waste.
lose it, so might as well.
Yeah, might as well.
What, you're not going to spend that one question to obtain the information what their favorite color is?
I don't think that's related to the medical role, GM.
Fair.
Could ask them what their favorite food is. That might be related.
Describe the exact squishing sound that they make when pressed.
Like that.
Is it like a, or is it like a?
Probably more the second one, I think. I had to hazard a guess.
So who's next?
I
When
can
you're
work
VO
on
and you've been
coordinating with
asked
their
to
stuff.
make squishing sounds before.
That was myth on the Kismet repairs, I believe.
Yeah.
All right. So this will be presence command or presence engineering, difficulty of 2. Right now, the amount of days, if you do nothing and you just ponder the secrets of the universe and nothing else.
Okay, that's not doing nothing.
For the sake of the ship, anyway. Well, that's
Yeah.
arguable. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days of repairs.
Alright.
So if you get this hit, if you hit the base difficulty, that shaves 2 days off. And you can shave off an additional day per momentum spent. This is repeatable. If you roll a complication, that adds 2 days due to like component shortages and other problems.
Right.
How did you drop the Kismet's nacelle? I don't know, but I did.
It's floating about 100 kilometers that way. How? I goofed, sir.
I pressed this button instead of that button, and now it's over there.
Apparently, we have an eject feature on the nacelles. Who knew?
It's right there in the manual, Ensign. I think I read the manual.
I'm
Too busy trying to pass my exam.
I just crammed. I just went right past those.
Alright, I'll go focus in Starfleet protocols. If I'm using command.
Yeah.
Just sort of say what's the role for chat.
And it's a one-off roll. You get one shot at it to see if you
Cool.
shave any time down.
Would you like any assistance?
I feel like everybody else is kind of busy.
No, I mean not
That's fine.
NPCs.
Oh,
Like we've probably got 20 crew support available.
yeah. Yeah, I'm just looking to see who would be good for assisting on this. If anyone has any ideas.
I think Balatrana and Vesh could both use a little activation touch.
Sure. Sounds good.
Which one?
So either or. Who's better for repairing a
let's-
ship? Oh, Gerbil has engineering protocols.
That seems like what we're doing.
Yeah.
Cool. Reynolds command. I'll spend 3 momentum. Rolling 4. All right.
And is Jibba rolling what? Control engineering?
Yeah, because she's actually on the ground doing it.
As we hit the base diff and then generate a 4 momentum. Sort 7. So it goes down to 8 for hitting it. And then do we want to spend just the momentum we generated back into that? Put it down to 4 days?
If you want to put some more into it, just go for it.
Make it one day. Go for it.
Um,
That would impress. I am sure that would impress the
Yeah.
Quaqua. Just being like all of that damage in one day.
yeah, sure. Let's just drain us down to no momentum.
The plank's fully fixed. The peltist
Peltus has
will
one
be
breach.
in for a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
The Peltus took 1 bridge.
That was to like
It
nothing.
takes around
That was just like
some
sensors, so nothing serious.
when it's done, she can do whatever she wants now.
I
I imagine that takes like alpha and beta and halfway into gamma shift.
Ooh, I just did a check. Right. Double check something here. That's wrong. This one.
Just watched 3 different shift changes happen.
Yeah.
So I basically rolled to see if the resources of the squadron were going to assist with this. And the target was 7, so you actually can get a bonus momentum out of it. Or, not bonus momentum, you can gain a momentum out of this. Or you can sacrifice that plus give me 2 threat to increase your resources. Basically reflecting that the Kismet found a few shortcuts that ends up having a surplus of supplies.
Ooh,
Like that.
shiny.
That call is entirely up to Myth.
The third increase is the fact that you're basically gonna. It's like, well, here's what we did. It's like we're within regulations. Like, yeah, but we're supposed to. We normally store this stuff. Like, yeah, but we're a squadron. You know, we could split up the extra stuff that we have among the rest of the squadron.
The only reason I'm debating it right now is because I used this focus of Starfleet protocols for this role.
Yeah. I will say this is one of those things that there's no exact rule against it, but some engineers would either consider that very resourceful of you, or they would consider that you're ignoring best practices. So,
I suppose the real question is, what would Vata think?
I feel like Vada would think this is very, like, great.
Vata's the engineer you know.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll go for it. Give you 2 threat.
okay. So your resource score goes up by 1.
Yes.
Awesome.
Triggering, yeah. It's your engineering influence. Well, the engineering influence is do it, so...
Mm-hmm.
Wait, you're saying we have spare stuff on one ship? Freaking spread it around, man.
Yeah.
The Lord Engineer decrees.
The Lord Engineer.
That's what we call all of the orders from Vata now. Royal
Decree
decrees.
of the Lord Engineer.
One of those makes its way into an official report back to Starfleet Command. They're just looking at it like, what?
They're like, what? What
Then we
is
have to, like,
going on the
quickly-
Kismet? What have they done
Quickly
now?
backpedal.
So do we want Varder or Penn's thing to fire next?
Maybe have Vada go next.
Sure, why not? Let's go. So it's up to diff 4 again, right?
Yes.
Can I leverage the trait of Maverick? I know all of the tricks from being a ranker, and I know all the officers. I've been everywhere.
Sure, yeah, I'll take that.
Helps me
Between
get a
that
better
and being
feel.
a poster boy.
I'm a poster boy. I don't know if that puts people at ease.
You're a maverick poster boy.
So you want to do insight or reason?
We will go with reason.
Do I spend
And
any
we've
more of your
got civilian
favors?
personnel, correct?
You do, yeah.
So with that in mind, Dharma Prel, you own a bar, you hear things. I'm
Oh,
using
you're
you.
calling in his favor. Yep.
I've got 2 favors with him, so I'm using one of them.
Okay. So diff is temporarily down to 3.
And
Oh, sorry, down to bloody 2.
yeah, I'll go with a 2. I'll save that other one for later. I've got so many favors, and I'm like, I might as well.
Kind of what they're here for.
Yep, and yeah, let's give you a threat again.
Okay. That's right, helping you.
And the station. A.
So you look over some of. Actually, it depends what your
Yeah,
work is. I just forgot.
I mean, you can just give it to me. I'm fine.
no.
Okay, can you give it to me now?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bloody 8.
Well, you filled the work track.
So 2 magnitude generated, one for having at least 5, the other for breaking the work track. So it doesn't drop from it drops from 4 not to 3 but to 2. The 2 magnitude you discover from the Prowl side of things, he tells you that in the underground, there used to be the Orion Syndicate, but they've been flushed out. And he's heard rumors that the syndicate this was their turf, more or less. They're in disarray. Some other syndicate at some point is going to claim it, and they're going to become the new problem, because that's just how the syndicate rolls. They're never really destroyed, for good and ill, because sometimes the syndicate is helpful to the Federation. Almost never, but sometimes they are. So they're not here. Maquis and Maquis-like elements, he's familiar with resistance movements.
Of course.
There's none really going on here. The morale is just way too high. People in this region of space are fairly happy with their situation. Morale's super high. Let's see. Morale's super high. Food's doing pretty good. There's lots of people living here, so people don't feel. Despite being in the frontier, there's actually quite a few people who live out this way. So people have neighbors. There's some species who are like fully populated spacefaring worlds who joined the Federation 50 or 100 years ago. A minor faction, but they're still a member world, so that helps. There was a worry about something to do with the powers, about losing some power, but that's was squashed rather quickly by Wright and Company. He double-checked that wasn't a sabotage. That's just the station. Well, you can only polish a stone so much before you can't get away calling it a pearl. But anyway, in your own investigations, knowing about the enlistees, you're not hearing. There's no real gripes anyone has against the officers. Sometimes when officers are a little too strict. Well, you guys have had it happen to you before, where sometimes your superiors will knock you down in reputation. You did everything right as far as you know, but there's this one obscure thing that you did that you weren't supposed to do, and it's like you didn't even know that was a rule, but apparently it is. That happens to the enlisteds more often than officers, but your staff's been pretty good about that. The Tiger Squad has been pretty good not to come down on people unless they screw up, and Starfleet people, even enlistees, don't mind someone getting in trouble if they actually screwed up something serious. or misplace something they really shouldn't misplace. Like, don't misplace your phaser. That will get you yelled at. Like, oh my god, do not misplace those.
And yeah, given we're talking about this stuff, just to keep it casually, like, yeah, no, there's this one Vulcan admiral that'll keep doing that to our command staff.
Yeah. And there's a few officers when you talk to them, like, yeah, I know who that is. Some of the Vulcans actually kind of like him. Go, you know what? It keeps everyone honest. It's like everyone just kind of groans, like, yeah, we know. It's not that the admiral's wrong. He's just being picky.
The idea that not even we escape them
Yeah.
is probably helpful.
But yeah. And so far, the two things are there's the enlistees seem to be fine, and also there, as far as Prelz knows, there is no existing underground other than what you already have in place and what he has in place, which is just an extension of your intelligence network anyway, just the civilian half.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, they're smugglers. Cough, cough. They work for us.
Yeah.
We know who they are. They're our guys. They're plainclothes people, you know. And to Pend, before we go to the captain and bother him with his diplomatic obligations.
Yay!
You wanted to look into some strategizing?
Yeah, I was looking because do we still have Bikara of House Telpa here?
Do you guys have an alliance with her or no?
No.
No.
A Squadron Alliance. Personal alliance, yes. I have the trait ally of House Pelfalk, and I've had that for far longer than anything that happened recently, okay?
Yep.
Sure.
She is actually still present. She seems to be doing. She has house business on the station, so she's still here.
Yeah, so I'd probably try and have a meeting with her, meeting with the the mercenaries to try and get them all into one place to try and build some form of punitive force.
Oops. I should keep this. Nah, put it this way. It's easier to keep things organized for me.
Let me find the appropriate person then.
Yeah, because it can't be a case
Where?
of private.
Aha, here it is. Here is the liaison to the Chico, the Vulcan that I assigned them.
Lieutenant Tillin.
Yes.
Put her
Yeah.
up here.
Because if anyone can sort out the Chico,
Put you
Yeah,
guys up like
kind
that.
of be a
Jesus.
situation of like in my head it would be like private meetings first to get them to the table, then the actual strategizing.
All right, give me
Because I
presence command difficulty 3 to have those meetings and make the arrangements so that you can get them both in the same room to help you strategize for this. It's not that they're unwilling, it's just making sure that your schedule's aligned so it doesn't screw up your day and it doesn't screw up their day.
Question about all those Orion ships we didn't give away. Do we still have them?
There is
Because we still got like something like what 10 of them or something.
there's the squadron that Ace Pilot Elk runs, and that's largely that's where he's been getting some parts from. Same with the rest of Tiger Squadron. DSE can field some of its own fighters, but they don't use the Orion fighters as much just because it's not the standard.
No, I'm talking about
they just use it for the shuttle.
we had like full on Orion ships we were delivering to the governors.
Oh, those things.
Yeah.
Oh no, those aren't fighters. Those are proper starships.
Well, that's what I mean. If we still got any left, because we had like 10 of them spare.
We had somewhere between, I think, 4 and 6 that specific planetary governments or sector governors weren't interested in. And we talked about negotiating, handing some of those over to the Klingons.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to field them yourself. You don't have enough personnel or administrative authority to have those ships in your direct command. They'd have to be in the command of somebody else. But
Oh,
you
no.
could use that as an advantage to try to convince Bakara to say, hey, we're already giving you some ships to do this with, so if we give you them, will you help us with this?
Yeah, that's what I was going for. Like, basically trade away some ships we have spare to, would you like to come destroy some pirates?
How many were left to spare? 6?
But I think it was like between 4 to 6.
And
Honestly,
Check
can't
out
remember
these.
the exact number.
yep, it's fine. I have a rough idea in my head. Just want to make sure it wasn't like super high.
No, most people took them, but we had a few left over.
Okay, these things rounds.
Yeah, that's kind of where the idea is. Like, we just trade some of them away to House Teleport to just offer us assistance.
Weren't they
Verter
given?
already,
Wait. Yeah, go ahead, Doctor.
didn't Verter already make a deal with somebody under her command for that? In payment for them helping us?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
No,
Well,
that was
That
like
wasn't
the
all of them. That was like one of them.
yeah, that
for-
was the one
to
with the plank.
captain specifically.
Oh, with the captain. Yeah, we gave him, I think, a ship or two.
Yeah, we gave him a ship because we were like,
Okay. I thought
sure, we
gave
can
all
give
of
you
them.
we can give you one of these as appreciation for your help, but the others would have to be negotiated for
Yeah,
something
that's
else.
what it was. Yeah.
Which is
We've
now
never
negotiation.
This is
If you're willing to give them all over the last that you have, that will act as a advantage to bring the diff down to 2. Because even if she doesn't field them, that's still something that she can send back home to the KDF, and that can strengthen the Klingon fleet.
I mean, I'd be happy to do that, but does anyone have any objections to just giving away ships we don't need for allies?
Not really.
I don't.
Not me.
Then yeah, I'll go on, Grennan.
Yeah, I don't think there's an issue with that. I think I'm just trying to think what the potential issue would be there. Is that something that we're allowed to do on our own? What's the word?
Volition?
Do
Volition.
we have to ask permission to do something like that?
Well, we
no,
said
'cause
we
you're
already broke that rule.
in this case, you're actually okay because for 2 reasons. One, the legitimate Orion government that's part of the Federation usually doesn't give the Syndicate any leeway. If it's an Orion ship owned by an Orion citizen, then there's a legal process. If they're a Syndicate, it's like if that was a stolen ship, then they want that person's ship back. But if it's unclaimed or the Syndicate built it themselves, they go, "Oh, Starfleet can do what they want with it."
Okay.
Because that was an illegal ship that was built against the law, so it's now Starfleet goes, "Hey, thanks for the free ship. You're not allowed to build those without us helping you." Especially if they have torpedoes, we kind of mind when you do that. And trading it to an alien. Now you're trading weapons, but you're trading weapons with an ally. So trading with the Klingons is perfectly fine. Trading with like Cardassia or the Romulans is more iffy. You'd get in a lot more trouble. You'd actually get in trouble for that because that's arms trading without approval from the council. But arms trading, it's not arms trading if you're dealing with an ally, any more than giving them to the governors. It's like no, you're minus the torpedoes, but you're like, this is to help. This is Starfleet doing their obligation. So
Yeah, okay. All right, I just wanted to clarify that.
hey, it's worth checking.
We don't want a Andromeda situation where we just, give out information and make the Klingons mad at us.
Poor Andromeda.
Well, we have a captain going through a legal trial already for being.
Anywho, I think that'll do it.
One threat.
Brennan will sign off on that then.
Would you allow the
So what's the roll, Pend?
It's so it was one threat, presence command. Will you allow either starships or team dynamics? Because I'm trying to form a super team of Jagoans, Klingons, Federation.
I'll take team dynamics. Yeah.
I'm trying to form Voltron from different people.
And I'll form the head.
There's a rude joke in there. I'm gonna leave it alone.
No, don't
So
do it.
that's 2 momentum
Actually,
generated, not while I'm being recorded. So yeah, you hit the diff. You're able to gather the two of them together. So strategically speaking, give me. You can roll for it, or you can just spend momentum for this. Reason plus command security. Difficulty 1 because there's 2 people you're getting information from. So you can either roll for it, or you can spend momentum to just get it. To get the exact disposition of the Gorn of the pirate base.
I'll probably go for the roll so I can get a bit of a float to try and get some more information or extra stuff.
Oh, did you want a assist roll from Talin?
If she wishes to. Oh, for
Today.
on the previous one.
Presence command.
Yeah.
Right. And she has diplomacy and Starfleet protocols.
Diplomacy, totally, yeah. Or Starfleet protocols, come to think of it. So that bonus will probably poof. So, because you're going to a new role.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, reason, command, or security.
I'll go reason security with a single threat.
Okay.
Actually, no, don't take the threat. I'll roll a challenge dice for it.
Are you using your medal for 1 threat?
Yes. You don't get it.
You sure?
Yeah, challenge dice means you don't get the threat.
I thought an effect meant I got a threat.
No, it's for every effect you don't get it.
Oh, that's right. It's the other way around. Because it could be 1 or 2. That's right. Yeah. My brain. I'm thinking a different ability. Untapped potential is the one that gives it with effects.
Yeah, there's too many fucking medals and talents. Would you allow team dynamics or former operative?
Former operative, I'll take.
I'll reroll.
Does Talin wish to assist?
Yes, indeed. I got asked to look at a thing, so I was distracted for half a second.
Just flip them verd. It'll be fine. There'll be no repercussions.
When you nearly have more momentum than the GM in the double digits.
So.
I like how we've just bought a squadron of momentum tokens.
Spend momentum for the Chico, just go. Just leave.
So, between yourself, the reports from the ace pilot, and what Bakara knows about it, and your own intelligence, the three of you are able to determine that you're looking at a standard deep space outpost, so scale 8. It'll have, given Orion, they'll probably have Orion interceptor type ships, so those are scale 3 craft. They'll have 3 of those plus the 7 attack fighters that interceptors that the outpost can field. The complication with this is that they're situated within that precursor tech of the warp gates that basically accelerate people's warp speeds faster than the ship would normally handle. And that's largely how they've been able to come at you. They put themselves in a nice little nexus point so that way they can rapidly zoom into space, attack something, and then zoom back. Actually, it's not Orion. What am I smoking? It's actually Gorn ships that are in there, but they're Gorn pirates using a Gorn station, which, cough, cough, Bakari doesn't buy for a second. She thinks that someone in the hegemony has approved it, but the entire hegemony hasn't made it official. They haven't made an official claim, but it's sort of a secret attack that's being done by the Gorn to kind of destabilize the Federation's hold in the area.
Yeah, it's like
Because the way you're going,
pirates.
if everything goes well, you might migrate up into them, and that would be a thing the Gorn don't want.
Well, makes
And
sense.
Alex Seska basically points out part of the reason he didn't want to go after the base is because even with his fighters, there's only so many of him. Like just from a fleet battle standpoint, he can move in very quickly, but he can't defeat the station and its ships. And even if all those ships are spread out, they can very quickly come back to base to defend it. So even though that's their big strength, they can be spread out and attacking things and very rapidly return to base to defend it. Now for that bonus momentum, because you already have an alliance with the ace pilot, his little squadron of ships, he has the heavy fighter plus the 6 scale 1 fighters that he can bring with. That costs you nothing because he's your ally. Bakara, if you want her to field ships, it costs you have to spend in momentum and or threat the scale of ship you want, with no more than your maximum might, because then it just becomes problematic to have that big a fleet next to you. Even if they're an ally, that's just asking for a problem to happen. To give you an idea, cavorts, like your standard birds of prey, are like scale 5. A Vorcha, which she can call for, is also scale 5, but it's a little more. It's a command ship. It's a little more resilient. And she can also field heavy fighters, like the one that he has. Basically, think those are scale 2 fighter bomber type ships.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we could potentially pull out 2 scale 5s from them. That's nasty.
Well, that would. Oh yeah, Jesus, we could.
We could do the command thing and 2 of their scale 3s.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like Vorcha and Burrell, or Vorcha and a couple Burrells.
Or the Vorcha's the command one, right?
Yep.
Yeah, a Vorcha and a couple. The Burrells are the scale 3s. Yeah?
They're
Yeah.
the tinier birds of prey.
That'd be a good little Klingon task force.
Yeah, I'd definitely go for that. So that's
That'd be-
11 total?
Yeah, 11.
Let me just get this figured out. So that.
So we give 4 threat.
We had all
No,
the flow
5
for it.
Oh, we had float. I didn't see that we had float.
No, we had
Float.
6. We had 6 float.
No. Cool.
This is a straight momentum buy.
Dear God.
Awesome.
GM, is it possible? I'll probably have to do it next scene. But if we take out a Gorn base, we'll probably have to hand some stuff back to the Gorn, correct? Or would we?
Really
Generally, yeah. The Gorn aren't as nice as the Orions. They'll want their stuff back. They won't care about the people. They'll care about their stuff, though.
I was just about to say, if we capture some of their stuff, then the Dragoans could upgrade their stuff, and we could maybe sell off a station for resources. I mean, Hal's Telport just received, 4 to 5 Orion ships as payment, so... I'm just gonna reload.
God, I forgot how big his little squadron is.
Yeah, what, 8 strength?
Yeah.
Something like that? Yeah.
See, just look at this little fleet going to deal with pirates. It's all those Klingons, all those little ships, and the Defiant class.
And maybe something else if we feel like it.
I don't think we'd need anything else.
So they're wondering what you would field with them.
And we should probably field the Kismet with them.
I was thinking the Kismet would probably need to go to the Quaqua homeworld.
Depending on how that diplomacy goes, yeah, it might. But we could assign the plank and the Peltast.
That is 2 ships for sure, pending results of meetings with the Quaqua.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird one. Like, the only one that's guaranteed to go would be the Peltast.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll keep the plank over here for now. So this is the proposed fleet that you're saying to them.
I feel like we might want to include the plank in that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, if it's like, wait, maybe this is overkill, then we can pull the plank out of it.
I don't think it's going to be overkill. They're Gorn. We don't fully understand what they're capable of, nor do we fully know what their strength is in the region.
Mm-hmm. And like, the plank is fast. It's not a gunboat, but it's fast and it has good sensors. Like, it contributes to a fight pretty well.
Yeah. Like, even
Not
just
on the front line.
identifying targets for the Klingons to hit hard is useful.
Mm-hmm.
So more like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could...
Is that actually to scale between that larger Klingon ship and the plank?
think so.
Probably not. I think the plank's a little tinier.
Yeah.
I was just looking at it going,
Or I think it might be more the Vorch is a little bit larger.
Forge is a bit larger. Yeah. Forges are intense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, I don't know about you, but that looks like a devastating force to send at a station.
Yeah, a little bit.
And they won't even see the Klingons until it's too late.
Yeah, because it would be the Federation and the smaller ships drawing them out, and the Klingons just uncloaking and going, no.
So more like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Klingons are the ambush force, and this is the bait. Not that the bait doesn't have teeth, but
Yeah. So that's the proposed plan you put to Bakara and Elk.
That is the plan I put forward. It's a decent plan.
Yep. The ace pilot's perfectly happy to go. Oh, great! It's like, multiple cruisers. That makes an attack on a station super easy in that regard. He's perfectly confident with this.
yeah, it went really
Bakara's
well for you last time.
Yeah, but he points out that if it was just the fighters, that attacking a station with just fighters is just pointless. Fighters can't beat
Yeah.
unless you have overwhelming number of fighters. Fighters lose against stations.
Mhm.
If you have cruisers, you have a fighting chance, and if you have multiple cruisers, unless that station's pretty well kept, they're gonna get clobbered. 1 second, I'll be right back.
Well, it's not just
And
that.
that is-
The basic principles of assaulting a position is to have double the defenders' numbers.
And at the
So
moment,
that's
this
part
is-
of why I was like, I think we should throw the plank into this.
Yeah, and this is without the Peltast and Plank deploying shuttlecraft.
Oh, just
Yeah, presumably the Vorcha can also deploy a couple strike
The
craft.
Birds of Prey can too. They did it to us in the last fight.
Oh yeah.
just imagine if we put the Peltast in with the fighter squadron.
Oh. Oh boy.
Yeah, if you did that, you would keep all of the bonuses, because apparently you lose one if you deploy the javelins.
Yeah.
You lose the
do?
yeah, he loses the security bonus actually.
Yeah.
The wording of that actually mentions that all craft in the squadron must have that high security to gain the
Do
bishop's
the-
trait.
Do the Chigo ships have that?
I honestly don't know.
I don't think so. Hold on,
Yeah.
because they're free sec fighter. The free security fighters are not.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
the Klingon heavy fighter might.
Yeah, no, they don't
Yeah.
have it.
But
Keep
they've
in mind
got
that
the
also
small
keep in mind the
craft.
free sec fighters are firing like particle banks and spatial micro torpedoes. Like free sec fighters
Yeah.
are cheap,
Yeah.
super cheap
We
fighters
might-
like the Chigo throw at things.
We might want to see, now that we've got that squadron kind of on retainer, if we can, like, it's a sticky, probably legal situation of we can't give them weapons really
Yeah,
necessarily.
But if
But
they,
we
because
might
they're
be
still
able
these people are
to-
still considered Chigoan alliance citizens
Yeah.
who are contracted to help you with security.
but if they manage to pick up some stray weapons lying around when we're not looking at the station we take over,
Well,
Yeah.
we can't provide them Federation equipment. We can provide them Klingon equipment, for example.
or gun stuff if they, as payment.
So I think we'll probably like have that discussion with Elk.
Depends what we acquire and where we acquire it.
Yeah. So that leaves us, lastly, with Fleet Captain Grennan.
Yes.
You
Me.
can go home now. No.
Oh.
So there's going to be a new scene after this that is the dinner. And just to bring you up to speed, Fleet Captain, you are going to be having a dinner with Star Captain Koshi along with various other dignitaries to discuss the trade treaty, but also as a formal, like an actual formal dinner between your two forces on DSE, including Starfleet members, but also Federation dignitaries are going to be there. And what was discussed at a staff meeting earlier, while your character is preparing, getting a brief of who's all going to be there, what their names are, and all that. So you that way, on glance, you know who everyone is because, well, you're the host. You're supposed to know that. So this is a new scene. Some people have stuff ongoing, some don't. If you're in that scene, you can do a role during that scene, but you won't be present at the dinner because you'll be busy working. If you're attending the dinner, you can't do your extended role for that scene because you're busy, well, being at the dinner. You can't do both because if you're working while at the table, that's considered kind of rude by most species. Some species like it, but most don't.
Right.
I mean, I just made 2 progress on a thing I was... I can, well, unless I can delegate, but I probably can't.
You could have someone else do it. You just have to have someone eat the cost, which you will at least have, if at minimum, DSE and Kismet to help. So you can basically step out and have someone do the primary role in your spot. Oops.
Which... Let me think here.
So who wants to attend the dinner? Is the question.
Well,
I think-
Brennan, duh.
Brendan has to, yeah.
Uh,
If he
Myth
doesn't,
will want
you're gonna have an
to-
incident.
Myth will have like a brief conversation with Varder in his like role as the squadron intelligence officer to ask if he wants her to start working on the computer systems from the captured Chigoan ship.
From an intelligence perspective, yes, fantastic. From a diplomatic perspective, it's nice for you to show up. You captain one of our vessels. Even if you don't eat.
I can at least put on the appearance of it.
Right, yes, I've seen that before. You drank poison.
Maybe they'll have
essentially.
some interesting flavor profiles for you to try out.
Yeah.
Very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I'll be at the dinner then.
Dinner is a new experience for you, so there you go. That's what we're supposed to be doing as Federation officers.
Well, didn't she go with the captain the first time?
Yeah.
This is a different setting,
too.
though.
So that looks good.
And yeah, Varder can have Lieutenant Thralic run the role.
Frolic.
If she's going to be a chief security someday, then congratulations. This is what the job is. And when you're chief of security, you can delegate your second to do it for you.
Just to say, I don't think there's any more roles for Pen, correct?
And of course, Brennan is going to bring along his ceremonial pistol.
What is Thralic's response to that, Myth?
I feel like that's a response.
The only extra rolls I could think for Penn is if you wanted to roll for more information or get more advantages on for the attack, but I don't know if you want to bother doing that given your current fleet strength.
Yeah,
As for seating, I'm entirely fine sitting with security people from the Quaqua.
Yeah, with that like strike force assembled, I don't think we need too many more advantages. So I'd leave Telen in charge of finalizing stuff. But yeah, I'd probably head to the.
Time for you to talk the Quaqua into joining the fleet.
Hey, if they want to send some people along with a strike force, I won't be against it.
That'd be horrifying.
Yes, I'm also attending.
And
Oh,
I
so-
assume right is
We've
Yeah, right. Varder's doing this. It's like,
continued
yeah, right. You can
treatment
attend.
to the very capable doctors on DSE.
Do you want to put have someone do a medical roll either through Yigo or some other medical staff to do a roll for you?
Yeah.
I mean,
Get
can also-
Picali to do it.
You do have other medical staff as well if you're not confident in Diego,
yeah.
I mean,
and she can
yeah,
still
that's the
assist.
thing. It's like, and I also don't want her, like, I don't want to be like, okay, you spent a day with me. You're in charge now. That
You're in
seems,
charge now. Yeah.
yeah, that seems unprofessional and really mean.
I mean, you could pull out
Um,
Dr. Vameth.
Yeah, Vameth is probably your
Yeah,
best.
my only
support.
thought was, is Vameth already on leave? But yeah, I'd probably call him.
She can be on leave.
Yeah,
Good
and
job.
also Vameth is civilian.
Yeah,
Technically.
well,
But
how
she is
about,
an experienced doctor.
civilian and Starfleet employee.
what about Sarir, GM? Is Sarir on leave?
I just imagine like a challenge dice being rolled for each of them.
No, I'm spending 2 threat to have them be on leave.
Stop
I
asking
mean,
the
sure.
question.
Hey, is the character that Grennan was supposed to create that's currently blank in the medical department also on leave?
I think Diego has more points to them than.
I mean, just let Diego try. She'll never grow if you don't leave her to do her own thing.
I mean, I
Sort of
could just leave it in the station
The star
hands
crew
and
of the
then have
station.
her assist, right?
Yep, the star crew could do the role.
I,
And then she-
yeah, the station star crew could. I think Diego would be better with them assisting her.
They're 9 and 2.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
What's she?
She's a 14 control medicine, and reason it's another 14.
Like, she's not
Okay.
bad. She is
Yeah.
actually pretty good.
All right, then I will leave her to supervise.
Making me spend all that threat to get rid of medical people.
Yes.
Yep. I'm not mad about it.
Hilarious.
I'm not mad about it.
I'm mad about it.
You could have not spent the threat, yeah.
No.
I gotta go. We all gotta go get dressed up.
Yeah.
Oh, that means I gotta put pants
They
on.
like. They want us to wear. Is it like? Do we need to wear like all of our medals and shit?
You don't have to in this era, but some people you are permitted. This is the only uniform you're permitted to wear your medals on. You're not supposed to wear them on your service uniform.
Yeah. I just wasn't sure because I know they're kind of militaristic, but not to the point of like being braggadocious the way.
Are they wearing their medals?
Yeah.
Oh yes, it's standard issue. It's a part of their uniform to wear all their decorations.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to reciprocate.
Varder will in that case. Let me just see if I can still walk.
I was gonna say, man, I'm gonna need a wheelbarrow. Or
All of us just walk in. We sound like wind chimes.
I'm sorry, that was. I had the opportunity to say that line and I took
Yeah,
it.
that's fair.
I have so many things open. Hold on.
Oh god.
I have a Mythin dress uniform somewhere, don't I?
The
That's
question
right,
is,
you do.
am I permission to wear Bajoran service medals as well?
That is up to your superior officer.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Now he really can't move. He's had to pin them to the back as well.
I imagine there's a lot of bars, and it's not North Korean levels, so
I mean, it's like, look at all these medals I've got, but I still don't get to sit at the big boy table.
So, Wright would tell you that the seating arrangement that she had is that there's the 3 highest ranking Starfleet officers at the head table, along with Star Captain Koshi and her her first officer and her second officer.
Mhm.
You can, anyone else can sit anywhere there's a Starfleet mark at a table, because you basically are just relieving a officer that would have been sitting there, and you're just sitting in their place. And they're like, "Hey, you're the senior officer. If you want to be at the party, you get priority."
Yeah. And I'm guessing the symbols over the people mean different things.
Yes.
I know who that is. I don't want to sit there.
Oh, you want to sit with him?
We are unfortunately
Sit
related.
with Dharma.
Just admit you want to sit next to your favourite brother.
But I'm assuming that's a security one of them.
That is a security.
Yeah, is there a medical one? Actually, before I go sit with Dharma.
Yes, right here.
Oh, okay. Go say hi to Dharma and then switch over.
I assume this would be science.
That is a Federation scientist.
And a 2 temporal officer? Question mark.
Yes, actually.
Oh,
Ooh,
sarcasm is
Yeah.
proving me right today.
And and actually, Wright points out, no, that's one of the roles they have on their ship. They have a dedicated temporal officer.
I believe some Federation ships have that. It's not us.
Yeah, but those are very specialized ships that have
That's a Bajoran doctor. then?
That is a priest.
Priest. Oh, and that's a 2 tactical.
That is a Marine officer. They're one of the they're part of the boarding teams. Whereas this officer is security, but they're more for they're a tactical system personnel. This one's internal.
Okay, and that is
A station officer.
Okay.
Usually used to hold space stations, but they're not. They came from the outposts to kind of brief people here on how stations work elsewhere.
and to learn about ours.
Yep.
Okay. Damn. Marine. I have more to talk about with the Marine.
yeah.
And I'll sit there, not closer to the Bajoran priest. He's gonna grab my ear anyway.
Actually, I'll go this way.
He's gonna grab my ear anyway. I know it.
Can't you just tell them no?
You can't.
You
And
can.
Wright's gonna stay with the doctor.
Unless you want to be branded publicly as a heretic.
Oh,
Well, don't you?
No, I've got a guardian of the Celestial Temple. It'd be bad to have that and be branded as a heretic.
Yes, you're guarding your ear.
So in the chamber at each table, various dishes are being cooked from non-replicated food Half of which has been provided by the Federation, half of which has been provided by Star Captain Koshi. It's a Quaqua traditional thing of sharing of meals between two fleets. And when Wright looked into it, it's one of those. It's not that they have there's no official thing they have against replicators, but it's culturally considered a bit distant. You feed people you don't know replicated rations. You feed the officers the real food.
If that's the case, I would have brought a bottle of my personal stock
Oh no.
to share up the head table.
For
Sounds like problem.
For one threat, normally be one momentum. For one threat, you could have made sure you brought that with you, and that actually will act as an advantage. It only costs one opportunity because it's a bottle of liquor. It's not that hard for you to get, and you have some stored away. So,
Are they armed?
yes, all the officers are armed with pistol and sword.
So how inappropriate would it be to bring the neural whip?
I mean, to be fair, I'm armed with a gun and a sword.
I've
You have
never
a
used
sword?
it.
Oh yeah, you do.
The neural whip. Yeah, Penn does have a sword. He's got the Klingon thing that he captured.
A
We've got
mackless.
so many trophy weapons.
Mm-hmm.
You do.
I've got one. Penn does one.
Well, I mean, you two do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
He's
yeah,
got a
I'll,
cardboard box
I
too.
guess
Did you bring
Granite, 'cause
that?
he's got the present one. Myth and I are like, nah.
I'll
Did
spend
Penn
that
bring
threat.
his sneaking box?
No, there's no Klingons. I don't need the sneaking box. But yeah, I'll definitely spend one threat to bring a bottle of Zirconian
bring
ale.
At all. And I realized, I think about it, I shouldn't bring the whip. I'm probably classified to hell. There was time travel involved.
That one, yeah. If it was just a regular Ferengi one, it'd be fine.
It's from the mirror universe.
Yeah.
I can't. That'd be a lot of explaining to do.
It's probably locked
you're-
up somewhere.
You're like
An
a
evidence
rural
vault.
officer that's near you would be like, excuse.
It's trophy evidence.
Hmm.
It's technically fine to use, just not make a conversation piece out of it.
Gosh darn it. Hold on. I'm trying to fix something. Anything special anyone else is bringing?
Not that I can think of. Although
Not from me.
those white lines that seem to be demarking the distance between zones is concerning.
It might come up. You don't know.
Yeah, we have a friendly duel. It's Quaqua tradition that it beat to the death.
Oh,
Friendly duel in which Pinned throws a sword through somebody else's head.
Things happen.
there's no precedent.
Hey, let's be honest, it would make a fantastic talking point for the next meeting.
Mm-hmm.
You can ask, what have you done with the sword? Well, I threw it through a woohoo's head. Ooh, tell me more.
So at the dinner, everything's being served. There's fine wines and fine food. Wright has gone to great lengths to make sure that it's something that all the species attending will be able to eat. That's also why she needed to know who was attending, because if anyone had an allergy, she needed to account for that. Because, well, she may be a counselor, but she's also a medical officer. She's like, no, I don't want anyone having anaphylactic shock because I didn't check for allergies. Boop.
Yes, come on, Fleet Captain. Have a drink of this with us.
Of course.
Don't get the captain drunk.
I have to be respectful.
And actually, if someone could roll for me 3 challenge dice, if for each, instead of losing a momentum for this scene, you will gain, if it's a 1 or 2, you will get that much in momentum. If you get a threat, an effect, it generates a threat as everyone's enjoying honest to God real liquor. Hence why it's very important if you shouldn't be working right now.
Sure, I'll roll that.
Well, minus the android, because the android can't really get drunk.
Yeah, that's
Well,
why I'm rolling
you
it.
can technically, but
There you go. There
Oh
you go.
no! Eh.
a fair amount of the crew, whether those the hero characters or the others in attendance, they're gonna find that the real liquor has a bit of a bite to it.
That's some good stuff.
Oh, you're welcome. It's better than drinking the chocolate milk.
Hot chocolate penned.
Same difference. Different temperature.
Oh, you drink from the milk of your Shadow class, says Koshi.
Yeah. Although nowadays it's just replicated.
Ah. It's not quite the same though, is it?
No. Definitely the real thing has a much more authentic flavor to it, I suppose.
And what did you say this was? It's an ale of some sort?
Yes, it's a Zirconian ale. I got it from the other side of the galaxy. It's one of the very few substances that can get my species drunk. Everything else is ineffective.
Mm.
Is that a challenge?
I have been informed that. Wait, where'd I go? Oh, there it. Yeah.
I was trying to get that button to be made quickly.
Really penned. I seem to recall a certain instance where a certain Lurian drunk you under the table.
What situation? Like out of character, what situation was that?
Oh, I'm not thinking of one in particular.
Oh, you're just talking shit.
Improving.
Yes, I'm improving a.
Well, Captain, if you believe me that light of a drinker, would you yourself and the Star Captain and possibly her second and thirds care to indulge in a childish game of drinking?
Perhaps after the dinner, once we are away from the junior officers, one must maintain decorum before one's inferiors, after all.
Of course, but with the way the fleet captain was speaking, surely he would be the strongest contender of us all.
The captain just sort
Dirty penned.
yeah, doing me dirty penned. The captain just starts rubbing the bridge of his nose.
Ben's just smiling, facing the other way from the Star Captain.
And you are, so I just want to make sure I have all the names correct. So you are, of course, the fleet captain now, Grennan, Captain Pend. And you notice the Star Captain's saying this more for her officers than for herself. Fleet Captain Grennan, Captain Pend, and a Commander Myth, I believe is the word.
Correct.
Myth is a synthetic life form. The other two, nod.
I believe it would be fair if we... Well, we would also have the files on who the other two officers would be, correct?
Yep. The other two officers are persons who have served with Koshi for most of her career. The three of them have kind of risen up in the ranks together. Although Koshi was the younger of the trio, she ascended before everyone else because she was willing to take on missions that didn't have the official princely mark on them. That is to say that she scavenged and salvaged when she could if it meant benefiting her ship. Which isn't officially approved of, but, you know, if you make your ship better, the nobility tend to smile on a quote-unquote resourceful officer.
We have something in common there.
So, yeah, do they have names?
They do indeed. Where are those names? Nope, that's the wrong one.
I'm just trying to return the formality of introducing us. I shall introduce you.
I forget, what's the name of the Quaqua homeworld?
It's in your strat file. Hold on, let me pull it up. Actually, I have it in my notes because I didn't want to look it up again.
So is that Deryak and Alda?
Suli is their homeworld. That is Derek and Ader.
Ada, so that's an I, okay.
Or Eider, either way works. I prefer Ader.
No, it's just
I know, I'm just teasing.
Just zoomed out, it looked like an L.
So you must be Star Officers Dariak and Ader.
And we three are the bravest officers in the Steel Prince's Navy. And they all raise a glass to that. Themselves at some joke that's pretty funny to them.
I must say, this is rather pleasant. I'm enjoying the sound of the Sulian acoustic guitar.
Well, officers must learn and embrace the finer arts rather than the more rough and tumble arts of the enlisted, after all.
I couldn't agree more.
Fight me.
Oh,
You won't, you'll
Yeah,
lose.
Smith looks confused at Grandin slightly.
while I agree with all of you, sometimes there is some enjoyment with the rough and tumble.
It's nice to visit on a weekend or on leave, but one cannot expect to ascend in the ranks of gentle officers by associating with those who lack training and refinement.
True,
I
but
find, at least within Starfleet, that it is important to cultivate a diverse crew of many talents and to exchange information and knowledge freely among them.
Well, all navies have to make up for their shortcomings as they need. In the Steel Captain's Navy, we treat our most sophisticated equipment in the most highly trained and mentally fortified ladies of space. For we are destined for the stars, rather than those who would dare the stars themselves. Not to say that the enlisteds can't ascend to the gentle officer class. Some great heroes of ours have done so, but as a general rule, one's place is one's place among the stars. It's hard to change such things.
Hard, but not impossible. Grunin takes another sip of the ale.
drink it.
And let's check in with elsewhere at the tables with Lieutenant Commander Varder.
Oh no.
Oh, joy.
At your table, the star officer who's with you is telling stories about how her Marines are various exploits of her Marines boarding various pirate craft and enemies of the Principality, and seeing them off in combat. A lot of her stories seem to dovetail almost like a Klingon, but with a certain air about it, like a bit of romanticism to the scene rather than the blood and guts glory that Klingons tend to enjoy. The Starfleet officer who's with you just kind of politely looks at you like, okay, we don't normally brag about our security exploits. I'm not going to say anything if Barter's not going to. The Bajoran priest just kind of stares in mild shock that that's a table conversation that the Star Officer is choosing to have right now. Like, I'm eating here. Yes, and then his head came clean off in 2 strokes. I could say that if you did it with 1 stroke, and there's a certain technique that if you gets into like medical detail of it.
Such conversations are perfectly fine by me, but we do have more religious company present.
Oh, do not the Bajorans pride the defeat, the embrace of destiny, and the defeat of one's enemies?
I would ask how much you know of the Bajoran people before I say anything.
Well, the briefing I was told was that you were a once conquered people. The priest just kind of glares at them because this is really not table conversation. They were once a conquered people occupied by a rather punitive military force, but eventually found their mettle and took to arms against their oppressors and found themselves victorious over the bloody field of their conquerors. With assistance, but all the same, they rose up and embraced their spiritual destiny by the will of their gods.
That's a way to phrase it, yeah.
The priest kind of gives them a look like, I'm not sure if I want to approve this. They soften, but it's like,
Well, there was lots of spiritual in there. Get happy. No, that is true. We were occupied by what, at the time, compared to a single planet and system, was a far superior military force. And over the time, over a great deal of time, unfortunately, we were able to resist, grow in strength, and eventually overthrow those who had held on to us for so long. I was one of those who fought, actually.
It's a shame you didn't have your own navy, but my understanding is that you were a people of peace, ignorant of the madness of the stars. The priest looks infuriated, like they're ready to say something, because now most Bajorans don't take that very well.
No.
Starfleet officer next to you is like, oh god, what do I do?
Once upon a time, no, we did not believe we would have need to fight. That is a belief many people hold when they first go to the stars that may not be true of your people, but is true of mine. We've learned, we've grown strong, and we are where we are today because of what we've learned.
Give me Presence Command difficulty 2 to try to smooth the conversation a bit.
Hey, yeah, know that one thing I've got? The Guardian of the Celestial Temple?
Yep, that would apply here, because that largely you're doing this for the priest's benefit.
Oh, yeah. It's like, the Star Officer is correct. He may not want to hear it.
Like he hasn't said anything that's wrong.
Yeah, what was it again? Presence
Command.
Presence Command. Lead by example.
Sure.
To accept what, this is a different people's perspective on what we are. We must accept that and go forward from there. We can't all be stuck in the old ways, priest. Not exactly phrasing it like that, but you know what I mean. I must be an example. have a threat. Oh, it's a difficulty 2, right? Or difficulty 1 now, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
And you begin to educate the Good Star officer, and to the comfort of the priest, and to the great relief of the junior officer, who was like, "Oh no, oh good, everything's calming down now. I can finally eat."
You know, we can embellish details here and there, but nowhere near as graphic as what the Star Officer would do. Kind of the lightly guiding.
At Efrix's table, seated with you, of course, is Lieutenant Commander Wright, and at the table with the medical officer of the Larira, Star Officer Cracia, there is actually a Federation engineer who just they happen to want to sit here, and because they didn't want to sit with anyone else. So that particular Federation citizen is but essentially Cracia, yeah, it's spelt weird.
Okay.
The Federation engineer just largely is here for the free food and drink, and is largely just paying attention. Wright would have told you that the individual professed that he wished to be there, although she wasn't sure why. He's a dignitary in the civilian circle in the region about how would you put it? Making do with what little the frontier has sometimes. So this is more to give him a prestige bump than it is for him to impart anything. But hey, he knows his engineering, and he might know things that we don't.
Fair.
So I'm to understand you're both medical officers.
Indeed.
It is fine and good to see ladies of the stars. No offense to you, sir. He just grunts and continues eating, unoffended. Right.
Lieutenant Commander Dr. Efrix. I'm the CMO on the Kismet. And the squadron medical officer, I suppose.
What is a CMO?
Chief Medical Officer.
Ah.
I oversee the other staff. I'm part of the command team in regards to the health and wellness of the crew.
So do you also only attend to the wounded from your sick bay or surgery bay? Or do you or do you also oversee the enlisted field medical work?
It depends on orders from higher up, but I'm always willing to offer aid to those that need it. Of course, it's always nice to have a medical bay to work from, but there's something challenging about being in the field. Mentally stimulating.
I've actually heard that you swear a different oath. You swear multiple oaths, one to your Starfleet and Federation, and another to your Academy of Medicine. That I heard that your oath to your medical academy was higher than to your Federation. Am I misled?
It's a complicated ethical matter. But yes, I would say that my oath as a medic supersedes my oath as an officer. My goal is always to be as impartial as possible and do as much good as I can. Sometimes that means that I may take some heat from the brass for not doing things exactly the Starfleet way.
So you can defy your superior officers without penalty of execution? If it's a medical issue, of course. Wright speaks up at that point. Most offenses in the Star Navy are an executable offense. They don't have their unified code of conduct is largely defiance of superior is defiance of the prince, ergo you are a traitor to the state.
Fair enough. I think you'll find that Starfleet tends to operate under slightly more lenient rules. Depending on the offense, I could wind up stripped of my rank and prosecuted by law and possibly arrested and put away for a long time on a penal colony. That's, I think, for the most part, of the extent of it. It's been some time, I think, since since Starfleet has had rules about executing criminals, but of course, if you fight back, there's a chance that you might wind up dead. Our security officers are very good, but there are always accidents that happen.
Ah, accidents. She nods with a knowing nod and takes a drink. Right, just kind of. No, she was. There was no other message there, Star Officer. She means what she says. Accidents truly happen.
For the most part, our medical teams are good enough to even overcome some of those. So they still. Their goal is always to prosecute people to the full extent of the law, should they do wrong. It's better to have that person alive to do so.
Besides, says the engineer, breaking rocks for the rest of your days is plenty punishment. Penal life is no easy life. Star Officer gives him a look.
There are many who would say that death would be preferable, I believe.
Wait, so you don't execute high criminals, traitors. The engineer, no, keeps eating and talking. Right, just kind of.
Are we brushing on giving away, like, capital secrets here?
Huh?
Are we getting close to giving away, like, secrets of how the Federation works here? I don't think so, but I just want to make sure.
No, it's a matter of Federation law. There is no real capital offense.
Yeah, there's not
There-
really a capital offense worthy of that. But there are, like, maximum security prisons for people if they are caught and tried and found guilty of those offenses.
Prisons command difficulty 2 as Wright starts helping you and jumps in and gives you like little hints along the way where it's like in their culture it's one of those, it's unfathomable that something would be wouldn't be there are so many crimes they consider a capital offense. It's like, well, and she starts leading the conversation a little bit that it's not a weakness. We don't consider it a weakness to do that. We consider most species have this pride life very highly, and we always hope to rehabilitate them back into society rather than killing them. That's not a failing of hers, but it's the way the Federation does things.
Okay. I was just looking at the McCoy medal just to make sure that wasn't going to help me here. It's not. And you forget what all your medals do.
I'm a doctor, not a philosopher.
And Wright will be assisting you, of course, because she's
Okay.
sitting right there. So
I mean, it's not like my presence command is bad. It's a 13. Counseling?
at complication,
Okay. Oh, because Wright is working with me, can I use doctor's orders? It's okay if that's not the case.
I would have to say no. Yeah.
Okay. Tried. All right. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm remiss to give you any more threat, but take a threat.
Okay.
We made it.
After a bit of talking around it and trying to, and from did you put counseling into it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So it's a lot of assuring, and Wright kind of picks up once you start using some way to say it,
Gee.
counseling buzzwords or jargon, and she starts cluing in, oh, that's how we're going about this. Okay. And she just leans into that, basically just calming the Star Officer, going, no, it's okay. You know, we're turning it less at a judgment of the Federation and more just getting her to be okay with it.
Well, and it's like, not that, like, assuring her that these people don't go unpunished. It's not like there isn't any repercussion for it, but our laws indicate different levels than theirs do.
Yeah. Gracie
Like
seems
those
very...
people don't necessarily serve in Starfleet again.
Yeah. But yeah, that you're able to
like go into like the hardships that come from being a penal colonist.
And actually, that's where the engineer he assists. Although, don't worry, his dice won't help you.
Okay, good. I was like, no.
Apparently, he served time in a penal colony. That's why he's out here. But he worked his way. He worked his way out of the colony and then became a engineer. He's not in Starfleet. He's kind of been disqualified from it, but he can serve as a civilian engineer.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy kind of looks to the two between you and Wright and goes, "Wait, you permit a criminal to sit with you?"
Oh boy.
Wright just shrugs. He served his time and his punishment has been done, and he contributes to the Federation. Wouldn't you want the same of someone who lived in your principality? Well, the Star Captain said that you work in different ways. I'll just simply accept it. Guy grunts and just continues eating, unoffended by the slight that's being aimed at him because he doesn't care.
Yeah, he's heard worse.
He's like, I get to sit at this fancy table. Forget you, lady. I'm having nice food.
It's like real food. Who gets to have real food? Not me, usually.
Back at the main table. So I'm understanding that the Federation is interested, since we should get to some level of business. The Federation is interested in a trade treaty, and I extended that offer to the Baron and spent quite a few calls over subspace trying to convince him that you weren't all crazy, since that seems to be a popular belief among the men back home. He decided that he would give me a writ to discuss the finer points of how Deep Space Arcania and the Baron's outpost would be able to facilitate trade, and what exactly you would be willing to trade and what you're looking for.
Well, we do have the odd Federation vessels in the area that could secure a route, along with some of your own. As for the specifics, that would depend on what you're lacking, what you're looking for, and vice versa. The minor details can be discussed at a proper negotiation table, but I don't see an issue with both parties helping secure a trade lane between both stations.
Well, the things that the Baron is looking for are materials such as duranium and other building materials, as well as any schematics you have regarding a building of an outpost on a semi-hostile world, and also any power generation that you can spare in the form of what I've been briefed from the To Go Concerns intel files as your dilithium crystals.
These are things we could look into doing. I believe the only one we would be...
My mic was off.
Yes, that's why I was taking over there.
Whoops. I was talking the whole time.
But I believe the only thing we would have issues with trading would be weaponry or schematics for weapons, but most other things we would definitely be open to the possibility of trade.
Indeed. As it stands right now, Deep Space Arcania is poised at the far end of what is now known as the Silk Road, a trade route that's linking this sector of space with the larger production and trade routes of the Federation at large. So should the Quaqua want to perform trade for such things with the Federation, Deep Space Arcania is probably the best trade hub in this region of space for the Quaqua to deal with.
So what is it that your trade route, your Silk Road, as you call it, be looking for? I presented what we're looking for, but what would you be looking for?
What? So this is the out of character question.
Mm-hmm.
What do we know that the Quaqua have in that region?
A lot of raw materials, but they don't have replicator technology like you do. They have to actually manufacture and purify their ores, that sort of thing. So a lot of the materials they would normally offer, like certain, unless it's like a super special ore like dilithium, a lot of it's stuff that you can, or duranium, which is replicatable, but it's energy inefficient to replicate duranium. It's better to mine it, refine it, and then use it. Because you use it more power to replicate it than it is to just get it out of the ground. So a lot of the raw materials the planet has would be kind of useless to you. The only things that would be super useful to you would actually, the more useful thing would actually be the gas giant they have, and some of the minerals that'd be like some mining rights for in the asteroid belt that they have. Because sometimes those will have gases and minerals that the Federation can use or trade with other peoples. But regular like iron, steel, gold, those are things the Federation doesn't really care about. You have them in plenty, raw, and you can replicate them. because iron and such isn't that hard to replicate for you.
Right.
Another thing that
They also. Oh, go
Sorry,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Another thing we might want to talk about is like people might be interested in trade of things like art, artisan goods,
Yeah.
stories, that kind of thing. Because those things are much more valuable to
Yes.
people who are in a civilization that has things like replicators.
Yes. That's actually a very good point. I could see. So yeah, he's going to turn to Koshi and say, there would definitely be, I think, a market here for certain Quaqua goods, cultural exports, as it were.
The citizens of the Federation are always interested in expanding their horizons of knowledge and experience.
So we could share some of our musical libraries, some of our sculptures that the Baron has in his collection. I can actually give you some of mine now that I think about it. But as the old merchant code goes, all things have a price. So let us get down to the base practice of business, Fleet Captain. At this point, you're at a social challenge. Basically, you're trying, because this is less in adversary. It's adversary less than that she's trying to hurt you or something, but she's trying to get more out of the deal on her side than you get out of yours. She's trying to get as much as possible for her benefit.
Right. Yeah.
So what
No hard
you're
feelings.
now she is offering. Now she'll have her two people to assist. Myth and Pen, you can assist because you're at the high table. What you're trying to get from her, by the sound of it, is a bonus to your influence, because you'll be the place that will be giving art and cultural enrichment to the region that the people in this region and elsewhere in the Federation haven't run into. This is a brand new species. But in exchange, what she's trying to get out of you, by the sound of it, is resources, just raw resources to put into the outpost to try to upgrade it into a proper colony, rather than the little militarized trade outpost that the Baron has.
Right. And
you put might off the table because you don't want them. One, you guys can't afford the might because it's all dedicated into your fleet anyway. But also, it's not good practice. The Federation doesn't like trading might for something from a non-allied power.
right.
I mean, she's allies with you, but you're not allies with the Quaqua at the moment. So the council wouldn't like it.
No, right.
Even if we were, there's the kind of technological imbalance that would make a lot of people in the Federation iffy about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, even going, here's duranium and better dilithium stuff is, like, towing that line, I think, right?
So, yeah. Like, even the resource bit is like, let's be careful with what we give them. Don't give them stuff that only we can really make.
And I
So
think Myth will be
this is-
paying attention to what specifics are going on in that deal, in that regard.
Yeah. So what this is a social conflict, and it's stress versus stress. You're basically fighting each other. If someone zeroes out the other side, they don't die. Their argument just falls apart. They have no real argument to give. If you take at least 5, that actually can injure you out. So you do have to avoid injury in a similar way, because you have they find a weak point in your argument that is hard for you that most officers wouldn't know how to overcome. But as hero officers, you could possibly find, like, well, actually, there's this old saying from this old admiral once, that sort of thing.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I'm looking over all my medals. 'Cause...
I have one that may be applicable to help the general role. I have a palm leaf.
No, those are those can only be used in persuasion tasks to prevent violence, and we are very much not in that kind of a situation.
Sure we are. The negotiations fail, we beat them up.
No.
No. That's why Varder's not at this table.
No, stop that. You know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. Oh boy, this is something. So, first off, I'm spending my determination, spirit of discovery, 3 momentum, with the value there's always room for diplomacy. Just starting off
1,
with
2, 3. I'll match you for value. I'm the
Awesome.
very model of a Royal Star Navy officer, and I have been well trained in the art of dealing with alien species.
Yeah. And then I'm going to. Where is it?
Determination's expensive. Freaking 3 threat.
Yeah. I'm going to Starfleet Citation for Conspicuous Gallantry. Roll 3. You get all 3 of it.
Okay.
But I'm rolling 5.
I'll
Diplomacy.
match
Do I have a diplomacy focus?
3. Yep.
In which case hang on. I think I've got a thing for this. Starcross.
Which explodes your focus. Yep.
Yep. And I'm just gonna
Give me a
see if
minute to
there's...
figure out what that meant. Like, oh right.
No more
Yeah.
focus. It's gone. It died. It
Yeah.
exploded.
Yeah, I'm making because the thing is, like, I have all the medals,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm just trying to see. I think that's it. I think that's it for now.
All right.
Yes, focus used. Presence command.
Yep.
Oof. I get to reroll 1 though.
That is a crit.
That one's a crit. That last one's a crit. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes.
Will you allow Team Dynamics or Poker Face for an assist?
I'll take Poker Face.
9 successes. You used your determination, didn't you?
No,
We
I didn't.
equal out though.
No, I
Oh,
didn't.
yeah.
I didn't.
No, he used his
because
determination to generate momentum.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's
right,
because
never
that's how I did it.
Question, Jim, can I assist with present science, approaching this from the angle of making sure that we're not giving them technology that's significantly above what they can do? Just like,
Since it's the assist, I'll take it. Yeah.
it's almost rolled 4 dice. Should do that.
Question.
Assisting with 4 dice.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, it's 9 hits.
After this roll and everything's done, am I able to use my Medal of Honor? Or Legion of Honor?
Well, hang on. I've got all this stuff too. So
Yeah. Well, let's resolve the roll first before we worry about the after effects. She will, because this is the kind of officer she is. She has the talent. A proper officer knows the ground. So she drops formality and just starts talking rather plainly and with almost a shocking lack of very businesslike. So it kind of throws people sometimes. To that end, she's actually going to increase her complication range to 3. If she hits it, she gets 3 extra threat for succeeding.
Oh, I do have a question. I do have one question, 2 questions for you that are sort of related.
Okay.
First off, does my pistol help? Because that was supposed to be a whole thing about that.
Oh, you want to apply that as an advantage?
Yeah, because you said that helps me in dealing with the Quaqua.
It does. Unfortunately, you're talking to Star Captain Koshi, as she reminds you that she's the one who gave it to you.
Does the
Yes,
alcohol
no,
help?
That's fair. And second question, I have a trait, Respected Diplomat. If that doesn't come into...
You have the trait
Respected Diplomat.
Diplomat.
If that doesn't help, that's fine.
If you bring it in, I can spend 1 threat to counter. That's what she's doing. Anytime you bring in something that could be to your advantage, she is specially trained to deal with that sort of thing. And so
That's okay. That's okay. I'm forcing you to spend threat.
Okay.
Does the alcohol, which gave us an advantage, help?
Well, no. The whole thing about the alcohol was that we might have gotten momentum out of it, but we didn't.
I don't know, I
Yeah.
can still ask.
So now she rolls. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Plus the 2.
God damn it. Well, that's a tie. Actually, technically, is it a? Is this?
Oh, she gets
Huh?
her people assist her,
Damn it.
and only one of them. Hold on, I have to check something. I don't know if they assist her. I don't know if that's enough to assist. Oh, it's worse.
Oh. Frowny face.
11 hits total.
So here's a question. Because of the way opposed tasks work, we technically succeeded, right?
She
What?
succeeded. Think of it as like you're both fighting each other and you're doing a melee attack. She
Right.
succeeded at hitting you before you hit her.
Okay. Because we have things that generate bonus momentum, but no.
On a success. Yeah, that wasn't.
Yep.
Yeah, nope. Yeah, I don't think we can do anything about that. Unfortunately, we just did not have enough. Oh
So
well.
she gains 2 threats for beating you by 2, plus an additional 3 because she got crass with you.
Wow. Oh, that hurt.
So,
So she's basically right back to where she started.
so question about that, GM.
And if you hadn't given her those 2 free hits, he'd been a tie.
So, with that talent that you use for Koshi, which is basically you spend a threat and she gets a free hit.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was initially just I spend a threat and it counters it, not just I spend a threat and I get a free hit.
It increases the difficulty by 1, so it's 1 threat for 1 difficulty increased. So whenever there was an advantage being generated, she countered it by going, "Oh
So it made it her advantage.
No.
no," because it basically just matches it.
So that means we're even then.
Yeah, because you
You're
basically
dead
gain 2
even,
hits
yeah.
from spending.
Yeah, no, you're dead even. Because
That-
those 2 hits just matched your.
Yeah,
the advantages you
that's what I
created.
was thinking. I was like, how can you just spend 2 threat to gain 2 automatic successes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Didn't process
it's
for
basically-
me.
Yeah, it's basically a major NPC talent. Whenever the other side is creating an advantage, she can spend 1 threat to gain a hit back.
Well, yeah, I guess you tied.
That's
Congrats.
the more tied.
And actually, on top of that, if she succeeded, she could actually create an advantage in response. But if you're tied, then that doesn't happen. She spent that and it poofs.
-5 threat.
Yes.
Get rid of that. Take it away. I don't want to see it.
Like I said, I didn't want to call you out. It's just that math it didn't make sense due to the wording.
Yeah. But yeah, straight tie. You can either roll again to keep talking, or you can succeed at cost.
I think I'd rather succeed at.
I mean, why don't you like tag someone else to take point on the next part?
I mean, you could succeed at cost, get a whole bunch of bonus momentum from your medals, and just go.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because couldn't I? Oh.
You can't buy out the complication from succeeding at cost, I don't think. Can you?
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, or I do have the medal that lets me quash a complication.
He just said you can't do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could avoid a complication, just re-roll.
So the only issue with generating momentum off of succeeding there is it's all bonus momentum, so
Right.
we can't bring it into the next roll. We'd have to think of things to apply it for immediately.
Yeah.
Might as well just try again on the roll here without a complication.
Like I said, you might want to tag to someone else and you assist them.
Mm.
Mhm.
So.
And then you could direct as your assist.
Mm. Mm.
I shall be right back while you enjoy your conversation.
Social
Um,
combat.
I am
Social.
talking fun combat things with this person over here.
Moral combat. You know what? I think I will succeed at cost on this.
Question is, what's
I'll-
the cost?
Yeah. Resistance?
You can. The succeeded cost would create the complication that you would allow her to trade with some private individuals in your area of space, which you're not advocating for illegal trade, but that's a way she could do it, and it would give her a lever to go back to the Baron with to go, well, we're allowed to talk with people as long as it's at their station.
Dude, just tag
So you do
someone
have you do have an ethical kick that would hit you, but that would help you succeed because it's not straight up illegal, but it's kind of unethical because you're basically giving her an in to the black market, or at least the gray market, not so much the black market. But still, that's kind of, as a Federation officer, that's kind of questionable. But sometimes that's the deal you have to make.
Honestly, I would just go for the tag and just
yeah,
do it
I'll,
the
I'll
other
just
way around.
tie.
Okay. She's not willing to take complications. She's not here to cause problems.
Yep.
So,
damn. That was rough.
new role, President's Command.
Do you want me to take point on the
yeah.
second one?
Yeah, sure.
So,
And I assist with my presence command. Wow. That was,
I
that
am
was
going
rough.
to spend my determination.
To what value?
To either... Actually, no, I'm going to spend it to Mission Directive. I never get to spend Mission Directive.
To the same value. She's the very model of a Royal Star Navy officer.
Yeah, screw it.
That's so expensive. I can't get that back because I don't have veteran.
Would you accept
Drain, threat.
team dynamics because we are literally working as a team to get a heads up in this negotiation?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I can see that. You're giving the floor briefly. Actually, Myth could explain more of that. Actually, the captain could explain more than that. And now I'm going to take lead. Making sure they're not aiming at any one person's argument.
Diplomacy or team dynamics?
Either would work here. Yeah.
I mean, you could just say direct and
Yeah.
do it that way.
Do you get anything for directing there? Aside from that would make it better than assist.
Let me double check. Actually, yes. I will direct because Christopher Pike Medal of Valor. It's an automatic.
Yeah.
trait.
Aha.
That's kind of why I was poking towards. Would you like to just tag me in for a second? Because if we tag in Myth afterwards, I can do that for Myth.
Such valor. Literally, this entire social conflict is just us puffing our chest of medals out and just motioning at them.
You have to touch a metal to activate it, obviously.
Yes,
That's
it's
how
It's
they
like a
work.
con badge.
you have to caress the metal.
Shine it a little bit.
That's
Just
6.
want to remind you.
That's 8 from Grennan. Myth, would you like to roll?
Sure.
We're currently at
Holy
8.
Shit! Oh shit!
Same setup as before, Jam. Starfleet Protocols and Science.
Yep.
That's 10.
Hey.
Oh,
Plus her assistance.
So yeah, my argument
Oops,
would be
only- That 19 wouldn't be a thing. And
so we generate 7 momentum.
I'm gonna check. I don't think there's any of her talents that help her here. She didn't buy any dice, so that one doesn't fire, and you didn't activate any advantages to cancel out, so those don't apply. So, and she
no, that was
would have
that
increased her
was-
complication range. Would
that
that
was
have
just
triggered-
straight.
she would have had a complication on her roll that I didn't mark down.
Maybe an
So
extra
that
challenge
complication will give you the will effectively give you the piercing quality as she accidentally lets you through her resistance of the complexity of how her job works, and she kind of briefs you a little bit on it without thinking she's baffling you, but actually you're a Starfleet Academy graduate. You're paying attention and using that information back at her.
Well, it's probably more using my former Section 31 skills to just pick up on the minor details.
Yeah. So you owe me
I think that's 6.
6 challenge dice. Oh, that hurts.
Oh
is that
boy.
filler? Is that
And
filler
we have
crack?
to and we've got to spend at least 1 momentum.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Do you want to spend it on just a reroll for that one?
I just spend it on the 1 for 1 extra.
Oh, come on.
Actually, what I'll tell you, she won't spend to avoid injury. You'll win this contest.
Ah, okay. Yeah, just spend it on the extra work. It doesn't super
Yeah.
matter.
So yeah, the argument would have been, even though we have many things we can go over and work on the finer details, who we can talk to, what little things we all want, we can never quite settle everything in one meeting. Let's enjoy ourselves tonight. Let's set up a couple of meetings, both here and maybe at your station with your Baron, and we can work out the smaller details for the certain items and objects we would require. Both of us. Does that sound suitable?
Well, I think what we should do as a gesture of good faith, since you're willing to meet with the Baron in person on his planet, if you're willing to do that, what I can do for now, so I can come with him with something in my hand, I can give you some of the artwork I have on my ship and some of my personal music library. And then you can give me what you can afford back on that front. And when we talk about the larger deal, the Baron can talk about his personal collection, and then we can discuss the finer points of what you want beyond that.
Yes, the exact math.
Yeah. Like for now, I need to go with something. I need to bring something with me, because otherwise it's a failed mission and he'll just turn me away and basically turn you away, because if I couldn't convince you to deal at all, then why should he deal with madmen, as he would say?
Of course, I'll talk with the station commander and see what we can spare on a quick notice.
And you get an increase of influence +1. Your influence is now 9, as you get a rich library of music and art that the Federation has never seen before.
Hey, we goddamn crushed that roll.
That was awesome.
That was just 2, 2, 2.
And it's like, I was thinking about buying more dice. I'm like, that's not the best use. There's something I need that threat for later. So,
Oh, really?
yeah. So,
Good to know.
but and plus her using her determination, I was like, she would, because that makes sense. This is important to her, but not that important, because you're allies after all.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah. So you, the group of you, talk back and forth. Is there anything Varder or Efrix wish to learn about their guests before we cut away from the scene?
Baller. That was baller.
Yeah, talk more about their methods, because they seem a lot more aggressive than my resistance days, even. And we'll compare notes on how we achieve our goals.
Present security difficulty 2.
Guerrilla warfare? Or lead by example for starting the conversation in that direction.
I'll take guerrilla warfare. I was trying to think if it was going to be a complication. It isn't, because it's actually answering it. It's to your question, so you're good.
Haha. A threat.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
what kind of advantage do you want to make with that that extra 2?
We'll find out what I learned first.
So the idea of guerrilla warfare is Steimer would tell you that that sort of tactic is something that is done by the protectorates and their lesser militaries, for they're too weak to be able to fight as proper officers. But she kind of waves at that, like as she's saying that, she kind of waves her hand and goes, "That all said, sometimes an officer learns to, it's against regulation to act as unbefitting an officer in the field of the enemy. However, among the 4 of us, there are times when one happens to have an extra bit of silicate in one's pocket, or one happens to have an extra dagger in one's equipment, that sort of thing." So there are certain tactics that officially are not condoned, but among the Star Navy, but the Marines have learned to be resourceful. A resourceful officer is prided for their victory, and a dishonorable officer is recognized for their failings and defeat. So if you're going to do it, don't lose. You better win that fight.
Right. Perhaps the 2 for an advantage of we can talk into a collaborative training exercise between their Marines and my security.
You can do that, truly. And actually, what you've also done because of that is because you have an alliance with them, and you do have a fleet liaison with them. There are certain talents that would normally be there's certain combat talents that I'll look into later, but basically, she's willing to teach you the Quaqua Star Marine fighting techniques that are largely about melee weapons. So you can learn how to fight a little more like a Klingon through these guys, because they'll teach you the Marine way. And in exchange for her, she's going to learn, her military is going to be taught to know, her Marines are going to learn how to fight with pistols better. Because that's the thing. They have pistols are a naval officer's weapon, not a Marine's weapon. Marines use swords. Officers use pistols.
Here's how
Officers
you land a shot from far further away than you ever thought possible.
Yeah, because their laser pistols are like your phase pistols. Like they're not as good as phasers, but it's like even then you're like, yeah, but we've used phase pistols or similar type weapons.
Varder's probably used them personally.
Yeah. So you start pointing out ways. Actually, there are certain training drills we used to do. We don't do them anymore, but we could tell you how to do them if you teach us how to sword fight. And that's the other thing you learn as well, that the officer class are known for being great swordsmen, or swords ladies, sorry. And the Marines are known, they are good at swords, but the only time officers use swords is among each other. If it's an officer to officer, they'll offer single combat with the blade, but pistols are for your enemies. Is to fight someone with your blade as an officer is a sign of respect. It implies that you're of equal standing. If they're using a pistol, it's disrespectful. Marines using pistols, it's like, you're a Marine. What are you using your pistol for?
They don't use rifles?
They use rifles if it's a very long range, but a sidearm is meant for hunting game.
Okay.
Because most Marines don't have the training for small arms. They're just given it and told in an if you're point blank with somebody, press it against them and pull the trigger.
Yeah,
they don't train their officers very well. They don't train their enlisted security very well, which is a thing Steimer is annoyed with.
Yeah, Varder, that's probably. Oh, look, we're collaborating. We can train your people.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm pretty sure ours could beat yours just because you're charging down a hallway towards a bunch of guys with rifles.
And that's the thing she points out, is that they normally have they wear armor, and they usually have personal shields that they turn on when they're being shot at.
Oh.
The idea is that, in theory, you throw your wall of meat at the enemy. Some of your guys will drop, but enough of them will get there with blades and overwhelm the enemy. But she likes the idea of like, well, if I can shoot them with a pistol from 50 yards down a hallway, I'd rather do that.
Combine the both, you can take a hit while peeking out to pop one of them.
Yeah. So that's the
We've got some
conversation you
groundwork
have.
here.
Yeah. The priest just politely has conversation with the junior officer about cultural things and things that aren't about combat, because this isn't a conversation the priest particularly wants to be part of.
Well, the priest is at this table, so he can deal with it.
Anything you wish to learn, Efrix, from your dinner guests?
You are muted if it helps.
Mm.
Oh no, Efrix.
Oh
Hmm?
no,
Oh no.
I mean,
we've lost our doctor.
if you need to waste time, I can challenge one of them to
Sorry.
a... There we go.
I was talking, but I didn't realize that my mic was muted. So yeah, I guess the first thing she'd want to know is like, do they see a lot of field work? Because it seems to me that they probably operate mostly from their ships, right? That would make the most sense given their culture, what I know about their culture. So,
Oops, sorry.
and then from there, I'd be interested to know what kind of injury and illness they usually see. Presence medicine, okay.
And the counselor will assist because she's interested too.
I don't think I have anything that works.
I like these round tables. I've just been like staring at them for the past minute.
Yeah, they're really nice. I like them too. They're very pleasing. I'll spend one for cautious to get the reroll. I don't think I have a focus. This is like cultural more than anything else.
Hmm.
I mean, if you
Next question, the follow-up question will be about like xenobiology and
I was gonna
immunology and all
focus
that
on
stuff.
triage.
This one isn't. I don't. I have emergency medicine and surgery.
find field work. would
But
be
that's
amazing,
not
but
exactly
I-
what I'm asking for.
Because that's like field medicine or paramedic, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I go.
Well, generate momentum. Yeah, the officer class of the medical. Well, there's the ship's doctor, the medical officer, which is Cracia, and there's her enlisted technicians and nurses and so forth
Got it.
on the ship. She never leaves the ship because she's responsible for the health and welfare of all the officers aboard.
Okay.
But if someone's brought to her surgery bay, she tells tales basically that if someone's at her surgery bay, they're probably on the brink of death. They shouldn't need to see her. A nurse or a technician should be able to handle it. And most soldiers are taught a little bit of field medicine to kind of deal with it. Some of the enlisted class are trained, take classes with her to learn.
Theoretically, so are ours, but
But
have
it's
a
not normal for
tendency
them.
to forget.
Yeah, the big difference between your fleet and hers is that they don't see it as helpful to have a medical officer with an away team. You
Yeah.
have because
They're
usually
more
a medical.
they're more likely to be a liability, right?
Yeah,
If anything.
because the medical officers are trained in sword fighting, but you don't take up the medical field for fighting. You take it up for
That's fair. Brooke feels that deep in her soul. And yet-
if the Star Officer is ever called to a planet fall or to a station to attend to something herself, that place is, there's like a forward operating base. Like they set up, there is 100% secure before the medical officer goes over.
Okay, so like her being here.
Her being here is the fact that she's allowed to be here. Like a star captain and her first and second officer, they're the sorts who are expected to be brave and valorous enough to brave the horrors of space, no matter what comes, even if they have to be by themselves. A medical officer's responsibility is not to die, because if they die, the ship's without a doctor now, without a surgeon.
Yep. Makes sense to me. And yet, Everix has way too much wanderlust to ever just stay in her med bay.
And Gracie is actually kind of surprised between you and Wright, like because Wright will tell the story that her hand got crushed when she was attending to somebody. Wasn't in battle; it just the patient crushed her hand because he was strong enough to do that. So, but she had to attend to she was the medic on scene, so she had to attend to it.
Wrestled with a Klingon once.
I've heard of these Klingons. They have quite interesting anatomy.
Indeed, one time I replaced both hearts in one.
Both hearts? Well, when their soul leave their body without their hearts?
She wasn't in. They were failing. They hadn't failed yet.
Ah.
So I was able to replace one so it could keep her alive, and then replace the other once she was more stable.
With the hearts of her bodyguards.
Listen, we don't have about that. As far as stories of dangers when I've been on away mission, there was one case where the away team had gotten separated, and I wound up in this cave where this being caused me to hallucinate people with a type of plague. It wasn't until the others found me that I even realized it wasn't real. I spent, I don't even know how long trying to cure it.
It's quite amazing that your Starfleet allows you to be put in such peril.
I suppose if I requested, I wouldn't necessarily have to go on away missions, but sometimes we experience hardship, so others don't have to.
A noble sentiment.
And I've lived my life by.
And with that, all the tables enjoy pleasant conversation. No one is challenged to a duel on offending someone's honor. The various servers come around and refill drinks, and people get more than a little inebriated. But all at the dinner goes well. And that will be the end of that scene.
If I'm challenged to a
but
sword
before we
fight,
end that scene properly, we do have a quick check-in with the officers who were attending to your existing issues through Thralic and Osul, because you had them attending to the security and medical issues while you're all enjoying your dinner.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, actually, fitness medicine difficulty 2 for everybody, minus the Captain Pend, you're at difficulty 1. Myth, you're immune because you're an android.
Yeah.
Yep, it's called alcohol.
I'm gonna
Augmented
spend.
fitness.
I'm gonna spend a momentum.
Wait,
remember
Varner, is this
when
your
we drank
is this your
that thing
first
that was
use of it?
literally
Yes.
poison for fire?
Oh no!
The survival applies a focus.
Captain!
Oh, ha! Guess what? I have a medal.
Tap your metal, activate it, don't get drunk.
Yeah, I don't think
For
survival is
you.
an applicable focus for not getting drunk, is it?
I'll take it. You know how to survive a drink, how to make a bottle last, as it
So are
were.
we all drinking?
Yep.
Yeah, because you
Oh,
might offend
no.
your guests.
Woohoo!
Wow.
One
You got
second.
one?
Yeah, I've got one. Let me think here.
Roll 2 17s.
I feel it in my bones as a value.
He literally feels the alcohol in his
That's
bones.
something against like substances that are harmful.
That's so silly. I love it.
It's a brilliant value. Yes.
Determination train.
Let's.
You have to just take the complications.
Ah,
Be super hammered.
Don't have to
I
take the
love it.
complications.
though.
Get
I mean,
out of
you succeeded here.
Exactly.
Here's
I'll
my-
I'll take my 4 threat.
No,
No,
you
no,
won't-
we'll
you won't take
squash.
anything. Go away.
We'll squash.
What do you mean I don't take anything?
Take it
I,
back.
can squash.
I have metal.
Ah.
Be quiet.
The thing I was wondering is if like he was gonna make you like wake up in an unfamiliar bed again.
No. Yeah, Legion of Honor for one of those.
Really like the way you talked about.
Legion of Honor for one of those, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just pay the squash on the second one.
So
I
that's
don't
Varder,
know.
that's Grennan.
Yeah, I don't have the other metal. I thought I did. Okay.
Do you want to go, or do you want me to go, Dark?
Wow.
Aren't
That was-
denobulins resistant to poisons?
That's what I was trying to look up, but I can't find it.
And I mean,
Well,
Tellarites have
I-
a natural immunity
well,
to intoxicants.
Well, I'd have Efrix roll by a third die, and she has a reroll because it's medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
She has been
No, I was trying to
constantly-
see if I could leverage Denobulin because I think they're resistant to poison, but I don't know if that is helpful.
Radiation
against-
poisoning.
Oh,
Oh, they have a
radiation.
vulnerability. They have a vulnerability to it, and they have a robust immune system.
Okay.
Well,
So not exactly this, but good to know.
So if a disease hits a ship, the Denoblin's the last person to get sick.
That would have been important to notice when we were on Calcat, because I would have been okay. Oh well. It's fine.
It's fine.
Xenobiology. Probably not because it's me.
I'll take it because you're on the biology half of it. It's like you know how much you can take.
I
and
just
how much
realized
you
I've been rolling at complication 2 this whole time.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, so buying for a third die.
yeah, see if you get it back.
And roll that.
Okay.
Nope.
This just leaves pinned, I believe.
Yep, for difficulty 1.
Keep
Well,
hoping I'm gonna have to spend my determination. That's not happening.
Hey, it's a good thing.
Will you accept the
well,
trait
yes
of
and no.
old salt?
Say again, sorry.
Will you accept the trait of old salt alongside Tellarite?
Yeah. You've been on a few. This isn't your first time to go on a long drink with other officers.
Team dynamics? Survival?
Survival, I'll take.
Fucking lightweights.
And So you generate momentum there, 2 momentum. And actually, Doctor, what you could do is you could spend your determination, the one you basically invoke during that conversation, to gain an advantage with that Doctor, like generate an advantage in that conversation.
Don't know what advantage would be for, but okay with it.
I mean, the same kind of thing I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to generate a cultural and scientific exchange.
Yeah.
In your case, medicine rather than combat tactics.
Yes.
You
I
can learn
forgot that
combat
you can
tactics.
do that with your determinations. You don't have to use them towards rolls.
use-
So yeah, do
You
that.
can even use determination to get an extra action of all things. That's almost never done.
Never done that. Wow.
I didn't know it was possible.
Yeah.
Efforts, you might
to
want to do
know.
veteran train.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
Wait, can you do that on top of like keeping initiative and stuff in
Hey!
combat? Hmm.
I believe so, yeah. Because you're
Interesting.
basically getting an extra action or something like that, I believe. I'd have to
Yeah.
double check the book, but I believe that's a thing you can do, is you can get an extra...
I'll have to take a look at that in the book sometime.
Yeah. So efforts, what you get through that advantage is that you learn that even though the medical staff of the Star Navy they're not great at field medicine, like their doctors aren't trained for that. That's what nurses and technicians are for. The thing is they have two things they have a slight advantage on you. One is their surgeons they basically have the benefit of being both the chief medical officer advantage and the head surgeon advantage, because that's how their doctors work.
Yes.
So you could, if you wanted, take the multi-role talent to do the same thing, where you basically take up the same education regimen that she does, to be able to
Mhm.
do both. The other thing is actually that's the main advantage, because the other thing I was going to say was that their enlistees are trained in medicine. The thing is, your guys are too. Like everybody in Starfleet, whether you're officer or enlisted, gets medicine 1. If you didn't have medicine before, don't worry. We're going to make sure you know how to use a med kit. We're going to make sure you know how to read a medical tricorder at minimum.
Whether you're good at it or not is,
Yeah, whether you take supplementary classes, that's up to you, but we're going to make sure you know the difference between a hypospray and a tricorder, all right? This is important.
Laughs in medicine 1.
Look, I don't know what all these other drugs do, but I know this one stops bleeding. Stab. What do the rest do? What did I just tell you?
So why am I best friend's a doctor?
Or this looks like a problem for a doctor. What? This is beyond me. I only know first aid, man. Not even actually. First aid's like medicine too. But anyway. So yeah, you basically open up that possible talent to take if you want down the line.
Okay. I mean, I already have surgery.
Huh?
That's one of my focuses.
Yeah. Well, there's the head surgeon role ability that you can get that you can benefit as well. It's just that normally you can only benefit from one or the other. And
Yeah.
normally multi-role only lets you choose certain things. In this case, you could be both because of how the Quaqua medical community works. They know how to combine both the training regimens. Although I will say, don't expect to ever see a medical officer from the Star Navy off the ship without a small army around them.
Yeah.
Like they never do what you would do. It's like, oh, I'll go on a away mission. Oh, you and like 100 other Marines, or
No,
No.
like 2 people.
I might bring a Type 2 phaser along.
No, I'll just bring one Varder. If Frixus needs to bring a single Varder along, and there we go.
That time I got drugged.
So we have
I was like, what? I think let you leave again after that? Oh, yeah.
So we have Throllick's role, and we have the Tended the Wounded role for the medical staff. Let's move those down.
led
Which do we
by-
want first?
Which one do you guys
led by
want to jump after?
Whose character is Diego? Who does she belong to?
That's one of Penn's.
It's one of Penn's.
Yep. Pretty much everyone in the con department, apart from the newest Klingon was my creation.
Hey, Myth, you want to throw Thralic at it?
Yeah, sure.
The work track's already broken.
Mhm.
It's a difficulty 2.
Reason, insight, presence.
The last roll was a reason one. So you can do insider presence.
Yep.
Cool. They're almost all the same.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, you know what we could have been doing for that social combat?
What?
The diplomatic suite bonus.
Oh,
Oh God, yeah.
I didn't realize we were on the Kismet.
No,
No,
we're
we're
on
not
DSE.
DSE. DSE has it,
Oh.
but Kismet doesn't.
That's right.
We moved the diplomatic suites from the Kismet
However,
to DSE.
we are using that
Basically.
advantage for the security rolls.
Yep.
Oh, damn it.
Like in the next room while you're having this big dinner, that's where a bunch of security interviews are happening.
And they're just really
That
relaxed
seems-
interviews.
Yeah. One threat for bold.
I'll spend that threat and another to burn away some of your work. Oh, wait,
Alright.
no, I can't. You already broke it. I'm not going to do that. Never mind. I'll do that to increase your diff to 3.
Got it.
How dare you? Make my poor second in command's job harder.
Would you like some
Yeah.
extra momentum?
I'll throw 2 momentum at it. Roll 4. Focus in investigation.
Yes.
Generate 2 momentum back.
Let's see the money, DSE.
Do we get an extra one due to the diplomatic suites?
And then challenge dice.
Who's... Okay, I'll hit it. There we go. DSE helps.
So 3 momentum was generated.
Yeah, I've already
That
done
is 6 challenge dice.
The most relaxed investigation ever.
Yeah.
I think they're singing sea shanties over there.
Or spend 1 momentum to
Hit
get
5.
right to the
Yeah.
5.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So you're spending to hit the 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that would fill it.
Thralic completes the investigation while Varder's
At
doing
dinner.
diplomacy. Listen, I'm a poster boy. I'm supposed to do this.
Cool.
Is Vara rolling in his grave at a very high-profile intelligence officer?
Different kinds of intelligence.
Yeah.
Varro was counterintelligence. He had to have a low profile.
So, of anyone in the main characters or supporting characters, Varder, you may learn secret information about one of them.
About supporting characters?
A supporting character or a main character. Your choice.
Oh, no.
You will learn a secret due to your investigation.
I mean, Varder already knows all my secrets, so
Really?
That's,
Clearly.
that's what someone hiding a secret would say.
Clearly, I use that on Tachibana so I can get him kicked out.
I don't think you choose who it is.
You can choose who, you just can't choose what.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, man, that's
Oh.
funny.
that's hilarious.
Oh, I thought it was choosing between support characters and player characters. And
Oh,
learning
that got
secret
me.
about one of them.
Yeah.
It breaks through their role, and I'll get back to you with an answer on that one.
What?
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
I got
You
it.
do the medical role, and I'll get
I got
back. to you.
there.
Did
I
you
got
think I was
there.
choosing
Brain
you for a
went-
second?
No,
You thought I was choosing you. That was the
I was
squeak
like,
of
oh shit, I
betrayal.
have to come up with a secret? I don't-
Oh, don't worry. The GM will come up with one.
oh no,
Gave a squeak of
that's worse.
Oh, I've really got to think about this one.
Pind, are you gonna roll for?
I can if you wish, or would you like to do it to a medical roll?
Can if 20 decides to stop freezing.
If that's the case, I can do it for you.
Yeah, you might want to because it's like they have to restart.
Yeah, I had that earlier.
Oh,
Oh, luckily she doesn't have any talents whatsoever, so that's not an issue. But she does have the focus from earlier, which was the medical journals.
Okay,
So
I'll take.
difficulty 2. Should we spend some momentum on this?
I think maybe yes.
Just 1, or should we go for 3?
But she got a 14.
Yes.
Has she been activated before? Does she have a?
This is her second activation,
Value?
so after the session, she'll finally get a talent.
Yeah, I think you can throw some momentum at her
I agree.
just to make sure that it goes well for her because I want it to go well for her. I want to give Pind a glowing review. Oh
Oh
no!
no!
Well, the station
not what
needs
I
to
meant.
roll as well.
Oh no.
I think it's
She made it though, right?
structure medicine? Computers?
No, it was a 3.
No, it's difficulty 2.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
different
it brought
down.
down. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
The Star Crew can assist with this for DSE.
I can eat DSE then, unless someone else has got it.
Yeah, I've got it.
I got it.
Okay.
Well, that generates enough to quash the complication.
Yeah.
Got there.
And it would be 6 challenge dice, I believe.
That'd be correct.
I think she got it. And she
2,
she
3,
crushed
4,
it.
5, 6.
Yeah.
Yep. So, in the treating of the various injuries, it is learned that all is quite well, thankfully. It's just a matter of getting everyone treated, working on everyone. The only new cases you run into are people after the shift's done. Everyone's getting relaxed and dusting themselves off, patting each other on the back, and good, we got through everybody. Oh, there's a bunch of people who are drunk now and need help getting ready for the next shift, or people with hangovers. I was like, oh no. From the security exams? No, from the diplomatic dinner. Apparently, someone both sides brought liquor to the party.
Oh no.
As they should.
I mean, wasn't that what we were supposed to do?
And Captain, I want you to know I rolled for this to make it random.
Oh no. You're about to ask a question about me?
Oh yeah.
Don't worry, you'll get a brief on that. That has a bit more of a longer answer than.
Oh
It's
no.
I was like, D2, well, let me figure this out. Well, a 1 is the crew, the command staff. 1 to 5 from lowest to highest. Oh, well, that's a 5.
See, I'm just glad you didn't pick the former assassin to get a secret on.
It's too easy. Really.
I was gonna say.
I was like,
like,
I'd be interested if you rolled me, honestly.
yeah, I want to know what my secret was.
I still rolled 5, by the way. I could have had myself.
Hey, Pen could have been on Bejor.
That would have been fantastic.
Even like, that would have been so funny.
If it was a 1, I was going to pick myself.
Yeah.
So, we cut to, in the next scene, we cut to Fleet Captain Grennan and Star Captain Koshi as Grennan is heading to his quarters to get some rest. Koshi and you are just chatting, because now you're done with the finer points of it, and she's just escorting you to your room. Maid, I borrow you for a moment in your quarters, Fleet Captain.
I suppose.
No.
What will Adler think?
Adler thing.
No, that's what I was thinking. Granted, you have a girlfriend.
Oh no!
You see
Oh my
Adler
gosh.
kind of in the room reading a book, kind of looks up at the two of you walking in.
Irene.
Harmon? Star Captain?
Oh,
It,
you did you know she was coming? Wait, do you know the Star Captain?
in my line of work, Harmon, I learned to be in the know when it comes to things like this. And this is, says the Star Captain, kind of confused and looks between the two of you.
This is Irene Adler. She's an like his cheeks flush.
She's
And
my friend.
He's trying to decide the word he's going to use, because the next word he uses might kill him. She's a private. Yeah. Greta says she's a private citizen.
I'm his current romantic partner. How are you? She shakes Koshi's hand.
Hey,
Are you married? They start talking like you're not there. Oh, are you married? No,
Oh,
no. I just play with him.
Greta's just going to sit down at his little desk, and he's gonna pick up like a little pen, and he puts it between his two pointer fingers, and he just starts like fiddling with it between his two pointer fingers, and just like waits for them to finish.
He's very well behaved. I noticed. He's so polite. Isn't he, though? And they chat for a few minutes about you, how you were at the party, what was it like. They're in your quarters. They're just chatting there.
After a couple minutes, he says, Irene?
Oh, yes, Harmon.
Could you step up for just a moment? The Star Captain wanted to speak with me.
I'm not challenging you for your man. Well, you shouldn't. I would win. She smiles. Well, you don't have a sword. Not all battles are won with the sword. And she kind of stares at her, and they kind of just stare at each other for a second.
Irene?
Just being friendly.
Right.
Good day, Star Captain. Good day, Midnight Watch. And Irene kind of just nods her head and walks out the door.
The moment the door closes, the fleet captain throws his forehead into the table.
In front of the Star Captain.
Yep. That was...
Close proximity to the psychic.
So he really is just doing that second video that I posted.
Oh. Yep. Oh my god. Okay. Sorry about that.
What are you apologizing for, Fleet Captain?
I was not expecting Irene to be here.
But aren't you two involved?
This
Do you not relieve each other in the stressful times of the horrors of space?
No, that's not it. It's this my private quarters, and I did not know that she would be stopping by at this hour of the day. Private citizen visiting a fleet captain's quarters. I like to at least be made aware.
Well, isn't she an agent of your Midnight Watch? That
Yes.
psionic institute that's aboard the station?
Yes, that is correct.
So wouldn't you be collaborating with each other?
They collaborate a lot.
Yeah, in more ways than one.
Is a word for it. Yes, no, it's complicated.
Oh, you called her private citizen, which means they're not part of your Starfleet. That's an interesting turn. I did not know that.
Right.
Well, that
Anyways,
is... Oh, go ahead, please.
No, you wanted to see me in my quarters for some reason.
Why, yes, I am here on official business.
Oh.
And she takes out what looks to be a vellum scroll out of a protective case or a belt. It's the same. It's a case she's had with her the whole dinner. She was very careful not to let anything spill on it, knowing to touch it. And she very reverently takes out this scroll. It is wrapped in a bright azure blue ribbon with a wax seal on it, and she sets it delicately in front of you.
Right. See, am I to open this?
Well, it is addressed to you from Prince Osmoso.
Okay. And he takes off the seal and he opens it up.
It is a long-winded, I will spare you the rather verbose language of such documents, but in essence, you are being invited to the court of the Steel Prince to talk about opportunities of your fleet with his principality.
Right. Oh.
And it's addressed to you in particular.
Oh.
As in, it's you benefiting with the principality, not the Federation, not Starfleet. You, fleet captain Harmon Grennan of this planet, of this country, of this province, of this city, born on this date, under this star. Like, they have a very detailed account of exactly when you were born and alive.
Oh.
And your
You all
rank.
did your
And then it lists your various decorations after it because, well, it's a formal royal document, so it's addressing you by your full formal title.
Oh. Royal House certainly did their research.
The concern are expensive, but not prohibitively so, especially to the Steel Prince. I believe his Royal Highness intends to offer you, if he's inviting you, the possibility of nobility.
Oh.
If not bequeathing you one of his mobile armor suits.
I see.
Turning Grennan into a Gundam?
Well, it would be unimaginably rude of me to not even make my way there and present myself.
So I take it you accept, Fleet Captain?
I will indeed accept the meeting.
Present your hand, please.
Brendan does so.
She steps over to the table and she draws her sword.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
She, with a surprising alacrity, flicks the tip of the blade across your hand, cutting it open. Ow.
Oh,
Oh,
Dealing
geez.
3 stress. And then with a smooth motion, she puts the point to your throat and stops short. It is my oath as Star Captain of His Highness's Star Navy that you will be seen to him in safety and security. On your word, you will stand before him, and on your word, you will answer his call. Should I fail, I expect to die. Should you break your word, expect to die. And she puts and with one quick movement, she sheaths the blade. And she looks deflated a little, as if that wasn't the answer she was hoping to hear. Fleet Captain, I will leave you to your thoughts. I presume that you will be launching as soon as possible aboard your flagship.
as soon as preparations are made, my own ships. I have more than my own ships. What's the word? I have more than the function of my own ship to concern myself with. I need to make sure the rest of the squadron is in good shape before I depart.
If you feel that your flagship is in need in the field, I am willing to allow you to be quartered aboard my ship as a honored guest.
Oh no! It's not whether or not my own flagship is up to the task. I need to make sure that the other ships under my command are have their orders and are prepared to handle things without me around.
Very good. My ship shall remain until you're ready, and we will follow. We will direct you to our homeworld.
Very good.
Good evening, Fleet Cap.
Good evening, Star Captain. The moment the door closes, the captain grabs his hand. Oh! And he's gonna go over to he's gonna go over to a cupboard, find like a little maybe not a full med kit, but I'm sure they have like a
Yeah, a
I'm
little
sure
first
there's-
aid kit. They'd have those, you know.
Yeah, a little first aid kit for minor things like this. He starts patching up his hand. Oh,
Varying
God
medicine
damn it.
difficulty too. Take a threat. I'll increase the diff to 3.
Did she poison the blade?
Oh no.
Just ask Adler back in to help you with it.
Yeah.
I'll take my 2 threat back.
You need her to kiss a boo boo. There we go.
As you run the dermal regenerator over your hand, you notice that the bleeding does stop, but you notice the scar is very prominent on your hand.
I'll have to have the doctor look at that later.
And for a second, everything goes quiet. You hear not the hum of the ship, nor the bustle of people in the station. All is quiet.
Gren's gonna look out the window.
As you look upon the stars, between them you can hear whispering. A call. And 4 words seem to coalesce in your mind. Your death is coming. And that will be the end of the episode.